What is going on, everybody? It is episode 509 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. We have some extra female energy in the room today, so it's got Brett on edge. He's definitely more misogynist than usual today.
I asked them to go do a bunch of laundry, and they didn't seem to take too kindly to that.
Yeah, so we have Sara today. Hello.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I'm great.
Pull the mic up closer to you.
Okay.
There you go.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Loud
I can hear you now. Yeah. See, they can't even take direction when I tell them how to do this show. It's just
We're being silenced.
Guys, you don't understand what it's like to
Male
have
podcasters are a different breed.
It's difficult, guys. It's a lot of work to have to Okay, guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. It's going to be an interesting one. So if you will remember, Sara was on the show with us. We talked about Matt Rife, what was it, 2 weeks ago or something like that, where he got in trouble for his domestic violence joke.
Not domestic violence. Domestic violence joke.
Women, they also cut you off and you aren't even done talking yet.
Well, you were saying it wrong.
Yeah. No, I said he got in trouble for his domestic violence joke that he did on Netflix. Well, he's back and he's in trouble again because apparently he made a joke that a 6-year-old decided to correct him on, and then he took the bait and decided to go on the internet and start beef with a 6-year-old child. So we will talk about that. It's very, very funny. We're also going to discuss the fact that Taylor Swift may just in fact be summoning demons. I know this because a priest and an exorcist decided to make a video where he talks about how it's a very real possibility. So we will get into it. I would never find these things if it wasn't for Mary. It's fantastic. So
I think we should invite that priest on the show.
I would love that.
Let me know what you guys think.
I would love
it would
that.
be really
So
interesting.
We're gonna do that. We're also gonna talk about shifting. We got mass psychosis going on because of TikTok. If you don't know what shifting is, it's about shifting realities. And Gen Z and all of these people who are like, oh, religion is stupid. But you know what I can do? I can shift realities. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to get into this list. Ranker.com listed the top most hated celebrities of 2023, topping that list being Meghan Markle and Amber Heard, which is why there's a poll up today, ladies and gentlemen. I asked you, who is easier to hate, Meghan Markle or Amber Heard? And right now, Meghan Markle is winning with 66% of the vote. I thought this would be more split than that. I did not give a third option.
It's because Amber Heard is hotter, right?
I would assume
Probably. So. It's kind of an L, though. She can't even win, like, the best of the worst.
It's like all those looks, all of that craziness, and you can't even come out ahead of, like, boring
Well,
Duchess.
who's crazier? Who's crazier, Meghan Markle or Amber Heard?
Amber Heard is crazier. Meghan Markle is more tactful. Is more of a planner.
Yeah,
She's more
like conniving.
Evil. Yeah.
Well, it's just who's better at hiding how crazy they are.
So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. But before we get into the show today, guys, would you hit the like button on this video? Would you subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? We have passed 84,000 subscribers. We're on our way to 85, and then hopefully soon to 100,000 subscribers, which would be fantastic. Share this video with your friends. We want more people to come in here, hang out, watch the show, so they can then share the video with their friends. And then it spreads like a virus, like COVID, if COVID was real. That was a joke. It was a joke. Don't ban me, YouTube. Don't ban me. Also, remember, guys, all Super Chats, $20 and over. We will interrupt the discussion. We will read that Super Chat right then and there, and then we will do our best to get back on topic as soon as we're done. Also, if you guys want to go and check out, please, I'm still shilling the merch store. Please go and get a Let's Go t-shirt or a Let's Go mug. Or Mary's shirt, which I like the most, which is everything I don't like is a psyop.
I still think that the logo hoodie, the pullover hoodie is pretty cool.
Well, and there's a zip. People asked for a zip hoodie.
And a zip hoodie
there is a zip hoodie now with a smaller and less obvious logo. Some people want to wear something a little bit less distinguishable. I know I'm like that. I don't want to wear almost anything with logos on it.
You're
than
too
hats.
cool for logos.
I just don't. Well, no, because I wear that specific cut of shirt. That long line shirt with the curved hem, and most logo shirts they don't make those because they're too expensive probably to make as like mass produced shirts, right?
Yeah.
So Yeah. So go ahead and check out the merch store. I have that pinned in the comment above, so you can go ahead and check out the merch store there. Rep the merch, guys. Rep the merch.
Yeah, buy the merch.
Exactly.
Get it for a Christmas gift for someone.
How about this? If you buy it, take a picture of yourself with the merch.
Yes.
Hashtag PCC merch.
Yes,
Nice.
and tag me or or at popculture_ on Twitter, and we will maybe we'll do that. Maybe for a while, if you do that, we'll substitute cute of the day, and we'll do
And we'll look at your
shill
cute
of the,
faces.
and we'll do shill of the day and do cute. Yeah, you guys
Prove
are
that
cute.
you're real people and not bots.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? So a bunch of people sent me requests to talk about this on Twitter because there's a new trailer out for an A24 movie from Alex Garland. He both wrote and directed this film. It's called Civil War. And if it sounds a bit...
It's on brand.
it's a little bit on
As
brand.
employees of Timothy Pool.
It is a little bit on brand.
Do you want to show the meme about Tim that was in the replies?
So here it is, guys. So this is the trailer. I don't know if we can show it. We'll probably get in trouble for showing it, but I kind of want people to see it.
Probably.
I could cut it out later, I guess. But it's good. And then here's the funny thing. Down here, you scroll down a little bit, and then there's a meme of Tim.
Yeah.
I don't know how he feels about it, but he could
would
love
find
it.
it funny.
He could love it. So the trailer is
Took me a second.
this is what I had to say about it, since we won't be able to make this into a segment of anything. Amazingly well constructed trailer. The premise is too on the nose for my liking.
What's the premise?
Basically, it's okay. This is the best part. California and Texas have formed a union, and they're taking on the rest of the United States.
Oh.
And anybody who knows anything about America knows that
That would
Texas
never
and
happen.
California is never happening.
But that's kind of funny. I like it.
There's some great visuals in this trailer, and more importantly, like the special effects. Which for a movie like if it's A24, it's not going to have the hugest budget in the world. The special effects are really, really well done, and the trailer is edited really, really well. Alex Garland did Ex Machina. And 28 Days Later.
Okay.
So he's got a pedigree for films like this. And it's interesting, but I almost would have rather they had done like a fictional country. Right? Like to divorce it a little bit from the here and now. One of the things that they keep parroting in this trailer is like they'll kill any journalist that comes into the Capitol. It's just...
Well, it could feel more like a satire of America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
But-
seems interesting.
Oh, and...
What's going on?
Just double checking.
Okay.
To make sure. So Crisis Party now will be heard. But okay, so here's the other thing. Like the first scene in the trailer, and I do recommend you guys go check this out after. Is like basically these people come into this convenience store, and they're like, there's like a pretty big civil war going on out there. And as soon as you use those words, like a better writer could have said anything else. Like there's any amount of phrases that you could have used there where you don't have to use the literal name of the movie or the buzzword, because I hate buzzwords in movies. And that was what writing was so good at prior to 2016, or prior to your phone being in your pocket all the time, was that people were able to write things that didn't feel like it was being used by whatever the most popular terms of the age are now. Like how often now do you hear the term mental health in a movie or a television show, and it just feels like you're reading something that was taken off of like an infographic on Instagram, right? So he says like there's a pretty big civil war going on out there. What would you replace that with? Like, oh, there's an enormous it's hell out there. There's conflict. There's literally thousands of things that a good writer could have put there instead of actually using.
They
that
wouldn't
word.
have said that during the Civil War.
No,
so I
it
mean,
wouldn't.
that's
So it doesn't actually make any sense. And visually, it's really, really good, but story-wise, it's too on the nose. And I was wondering for you guys, is this the type of thing where I'm the type of person where I kind of recoil from the idea of like boldly political movies and television these days, just because there is no track record from Hollywood now that says to me that they can do it well, like they used to be able to. Is this the type of story that bothers you when you see stuff like this?
I mean, isn't the Hunger Games prequel and Hunger Games in general sort of a political thriller in a certain sense?
But it's not done so in your face, right? It's still not using America as the example. It's still set in a fictional world.
It's a post-apocalyptic America still. I think it can be done right.
Yeah.
But it should have been... You're right. It probably would have been a better idea to make it a different country.
Are you saying like there's been a bunch of movies made about Civil War, but this is the one where they decide to actually use the names like California and Texas and
and like, but the thing is, they
I mean, Napoleon as well. The recent Joaquin Phoenix Napoleon was also political.
But this is also like a recent story. Like this is something like one of the things like, so we were talking about
Is this set in present day?
It's set in the future, right? Or present day. So the idea that the concept of American Civil War, like a new Civil War, has now become so mainstream that they're making movies about it from Hollywood. This used to be something that was
predictive programming.
It's going to make it happen.
That's why they're normalizing incest, cannibalism, climate catastrophe. All of these things are predictive programming for society. So it, casually normalizes these ideas to them so they can accept whatever propaganda comes next.
And then one day you're like, how did we get here? And then you're like, oh, it was suggested to me by this movie. Also, I had to do the thing to turn the air conditioner on where like the batteries don't work. So you have to take the batteries out and then put them back in.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
You did that so fast.
I would like to see a movie like this be done with some amount of restraint. I don't know if I buy that that's what ends up happening here, especially with the idea that the journalists get shot on national, like at the Capitol. But they use great use of CGI versions of our monuments and things in this. And I do think people should go check this trailer out.
Do you think A24 is a good studio to do it?
No, I don't think any studio in Hollywood right now is a good studio to do this. I don't trust anyone in Hollywood to make a movie like this and have it not be unbelievably biased towards one side or the other. I could be wrong about this. Like, I could be 110% wrong about this, but it is an unbelievably well-made trailer. So I do think you should check this out and let us know what you think in the comments. I'm sure
the trailer's always better than the movie anyway.
You think that's true? Like, I see, the thing is, I used to believe that, but now the trailers follow such a strict formula that that's not even true anymore. It's like when I showed you the video of like the how to make a superhero movie trailer.
It's easier to suffer through a trailer.
Yeah, and so many bad movies have come out lately, so the trailers are usually better than the movies, at least nowadays.
Yeah, like what was in that trailer? It's like, that thing you didn't think could ever happen? Well, it's happening. Wow. All the trailers basically follow the same plot points. Low bois is literally what it's called when you look in the sound effects. So go check that trailer out. It is A24. I am looking forward to seeing The Iron Claw over the holidays, which I guess is like the most depressing movie. Like literally all the critics say it's got like a 98% from critics, and all of them just say really, really great and depressing.
I haven't heard of that one.
It's about the Von Erich family, which is a very famous wrestling family, and it's like all the kids are dead but one in the dead. Like it was a whole family
based on a true story.
It's based on a real family that used to be a huge wrestling family here in America. So the story is unbelievably sad. So it makes sense that the movie itself would also be sad.
Yeah.
But
someone in the chat asked, didn't A24 just strike a deal with HBO or some other studio?
Yes.
It was HBO, so all the A24 films are going to stream there first after they're in theaters.
Well, at least they didn't make a freaking A24 streaming service. So I went on like this rant last night where I was like looking at, I was explaining how, okay, so I tried watching the movie The World Is Not Enough the other day. It's a James Bond movie. On like a Monday. I'm watching it. It's on Amazon Prime, free to watch. Okay. I come back on Tuesday, buy or rent. It's no longer free to watch. And I'm like, you Amazon
They saw that you were doing that and specifically did that to spite you.
That's basically it, right? They're like, we hate Brett, so we're going to make it so that he can't watch it. So
it's gang stalking.
So I went through this what was going on here. And first of all, they own MGM. Amazon, with all their money, with all their Bezos money, bought MGM. But there's still such a thing as MGM Plus, which is insane because there's nobody in the world. Is there anybody in the chat right now that actually has Amazon or actually has MGM Plus? I don't think there is. But the point is, why does this exist? Why not just put all your James Bond movies all on the streaming service? So like every third one, like, so it has GoldenEye, it has Tomorrow Never Dies, it doesn't have The World Is Not Enough, it has Casino Royale, it has Quantum of Solace, but it doesn't have Skyfall. So it has like certain ones but not other ones.
That's annoying.
And I don't know why. And that's the stuff that keeps me up at night. Not knowing why I can watch Die Another.
Who made that decision?
Why can I watch Tomorrow Never Dies, but I can't watch Die Another Day? Why? I have no idea.
Not fair.
And it's going to keep me up forever. Life's
not fair, Brett.
That's what they tell me, right? All right. All right, guys. So beyond that, there's more news from Netflix, which is they've kind of gone through to an unprecedented place, and they've released a bunch of data that they don't normally release, meaning that they shared with you the most popular shows in the first 6 months of last year. The funny thing about this is no matter how many times they do this, I'm like, who knows if this is even real? They could just make these numbers up.
It's from 2023, January to June.
Yes.
Some of these shows I'd never heard of.
Yeah, the Night. I've heard of the Night Agent.
Ginny in Georgia. I might have seen that on an airplane once.
There you go.
Is second. The Glory is some South Korean thing. And then is Wednesday fourth on the list.
Yeah, they said that non-English speaking, non-English speaking productions made up 30% of their viewers.
There are a lot of Spanish and South Korean titles here that I don't
Kaleidoscope,
recognize.
Fubar, all of these things. And I don't know if perhaps this is them trying to get out ahead of like what's going on with the new contracts with the unions about transparency, right? Like, I just don't know how they're going to prove these numbers. Like, do they even need to prove these numbers? They could just make these up.
Netflix never publishes their actual numbers.
Because they always get, like, whenever people are like, oh, it's in their top 10 most watched, I'm like, they could just
according to them,
right? Like,
and unfortunately, it's the same thing when Daily Wire Plus advertises Lady Ballers and says it's the number one streaming movie in America. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the other thing. Like, whenever we would look at these lists, remember when Suits was the number one streaming show in America for like a gazillion weeks?
Yes. That and what was it called? Virgin River or something?
Yeah, Virgin
Some
River,
body of water.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But not just that, but like in these lists, year after year for Netflix, NCIS is always in the top 3 or 4. It's not anywhere on this list. So how does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Well, if they're just talking about the US, I guess it would be different.
I mean, I guess. I mean, that seems like a very U.S. show to watch.
Outer Banks is on here.
I haven't heard of 4. Like a majority of these shows. Yeah. Honestly,
Kaleidoscope, the limited series that you were supposed to watch out of order, is also on here. I can't believe anyone fell for that gimmick. Love is Blind. That makes sense.
Like, where is?
But most of these, I have no idea.
Yeah. Like Glass Onion is down here in the mid 50s.
Yes. Walking Dead season 11.
Yep.
Literally, who cares?
Coco Melon season 1.
I'm surprised Coco Melon is so low on the list, actually.
Yeah. You'd think that the kids would be using... Well, can kids watch that on YouTube?
Some of it, I'm sure. Stranger Things 4 is way down the list, and they promote the hell out of that.
Well,
it's been out for a while, though.
Whenever they release these lists that are like the top 10 most watched shows, I'm like, it's always suspiciously a Netflix show and not something else. I'm like, that's shocking. I wonder why that is. It's because they have an incentive to promote their own material.
Right.
Makes sense. And also, their troubles are not over. Thousands of Netflix users rage. I don't know if they actually rage. Like, did they throw their like Roku remote?
Adults are babies now. I'm sure they did.
After connection errors and outages, it's literally like a parent taking their tablet away from a child and it starts going like this.
We have a generation of iPad adults.
Yes. Thousands of Netflix users were left without service Monday, a whole day, when the streaming network became caught up in a connection checking loop, according to reports. The issue caused at least 17,000 error reports for the online service and left many users without the service on Monday evening. Well, you know what it really was?
It was only 4 hours.
Here's the thing, though.
We can survive without Netflix for 4 hours.
Here's the thing. What time was this at? Was
4
this
p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what time zone?
So I was gonna say like if this was a bunch of people trying to Netflix and chill, and then suddenly it's just timing out and they can't get it to work, that's just a huge cock block. That's what that is. That's the problem. Says, we're very sorry, says a spokesperson to Variety.
I mean, I assumed when you refer to Netflix and chill, Netflix is not the primary
But they
focus.
need it to start. Maybe the guy just doesn't know how to get it going. He's like, how do I start this without the Netflix to start?
Well, if all he has is a subscription to Netflix, you got to have other options.
Yeah, he's got to be able to do like, what did they say? Hulu and Do You. That's the other one. And there's a variety of them.
Men need to start impressing women with their piracy skills.
There you go.
He's like, let me show you how to use Pirate Bay. He's like
mansplaining piracy to women.
Torrid torrents. That's what it is. Torrid torrents. That's what it is. Yeah. So
so for some people, it was like right after they get home from work when they start brainwashing themselves.
They're ready for the day. Back in the day, they would have put on the news to brainwash them while they cook dinner. Now they put on Netflix to brainwash them while they order DoorDash.
And their DoorDash is here, but their Netflix is not working.
They don't know what to do.
Well, this is a first world problem. I know you love that term. I hate that first world problems started getting replaced with white people problems.
Yes, well, no, first world problems was actually the great Western unifier. It showed us that we all were basically spoiled babies because we live here in the West. No matter your skin color, your race, your creed, your color, all that
We're
stuff.
all
doesn't
number
matter.
one, first world.
Yeah, we are all very, very blessed to live here. So when you have first world problems, which we do, right? Like that's a thing. And that brought us together. It didn't
Until
divide
some
us.
point when everyone started saying white people problems.
White privilege, yep.
Yes.
Yep, that was what really drove us apart, if you ask me. All right, guys. Terminator 2. It's a masterpiece. If you haven't seen Terminator 2, especially given that AI is such an important discussion that we have these days, I do recommend going and checking this out. Terminator 2 has been selected for the National Film Registry.
I didn't even know what that was.
It's a real thing. So this is
I've never heard of
Terminator 2 has been named as entering the National Film Registry for 2023, along with A Nightmare Before Christmas, Apollo 13, and Home Alone.
Lady and the Tramp also, and 12 Years a Slave.
This was the
Love
crazy.
and Basketball.
Yeah, Love and Basketball has had like this resurgence now, where it's kind of like a cult classic, and it's seen as this like really great love story. But this is what I thought was the funniest part of it. It says, the news includes the 25 influential films that have been selected for the 2023 Library of Congress National Film Registry. Librarian of Congress Carla Hayden announced it. So much like the Surgeon General, there is one main librarian.
Brett, you knew that the Library of Congress existed before this.
But I didn't know there was like one librarian.
Therefore, there is going to be a librarian or multiple.
But this isn't like this is
I'm
multiple.
sure there are
This
multiple.
is the Librarian of Congress. Just like we have a Surgeon General, we have just like you have the Attorney General, you have the U.S. Attorney, right?
I don't know why this is rocking your world.
Breaking news.
It broke my brain when I saw this. I'm just picturing the sternest, meanest looking woman with the glasses that are so far down her nose, but they're in red, white, and blue because she's America's librarian now.
Yeah.
This is America's librarian.
Like her finger to her lips,
Yes.
like she's shushing you constantly.
Yes, like she is shushing you in American, in like the most American voice ever, and it kind of blew my mind that there was because when I think of Surgeon General, I don't think of like the surgeon of the country, but librarian of the country is definitely real, and this is also real because I watched National Treasure last weekend, and they go to the.
Do you think they have drag queen story hour in Library of Congress?
Probably. Absolutely. This is America in 2023. Let's be real. This is America in 2023. Let's be real, right? So they're kind of looks like there's like some arguing going on in the.
What is there to argue about?
They're saying Terminator 2 made it. So it says Battle Royale for head librarian. How do you choose
A reality show.
the Librarian of Congress?
Is probably a reality competition.
Like, is it just like you have the best, like, because I was actually talking to someone recently. I was watching a podcast where they talked about how every few months they have to go through the library and shut it down for like half a day so that they can go find all the books that are out of order. And that I got anxiety just thinking about that, about like one day you realize that people don't put shit back where it's supposed to go. So they have to just...
They just take a bunch of Vyvanse and go at it.
Yeah, basically, right? Like
For
they're
12
just like,
hours.
like Carla here just guzzles some Adderall and goes, let's get to work.
Does it for America.
Yeah, and then she plays...
Dusts off her shoulder pads and gets to work.
And the national anthem plays on a repeat the whole time, right? And I was thinking about this, and I was like, how do you... Like, maybe they do it because these ladies want to be named Librarian of Congress. She wants to be elected to a cabinet position as a librarian.
Honestly, she's probably either someone's mistress or just like someone's aunt that was like unmarried, and they're like, my aunt needs a job.
Someone said it sounds like a Wonder Woman villain. Also, she's the only person who still knows the Dewey Decimal System, so she gets the job by default.
Actually, that's in the show Person of Interest. That's actually how they found the number. So he gets the numbers on the phone, and then you get the letters that spell out the name of the person they need to help via the Dewey Decimal System.
Okay.
So it makes sense.
Cool.
Yes. So I think maybe I'm going to leave podcasting and maybe one day I could be librarian of Congress. Are there male librarians?
There are now.
Are there?
They're
You
about
can
to
break
be.
that glass
Yeah.
ceiling.
I'm here to break
We
the glass
believe in
ceiling.
you.
Let's do this. All right, guys. Were you on the show when the Ruby Rose debacle?
No, she wasn't. So, okay. This was kind of reported as fake news. I guess we're a fake news channel now. So Ruby Rose leaked text messages from her top OnlyFans subscriber. And she called him Brandon Weird OF fan in her phone contacts. I have no idea why they would have each other's numbers. And then posted a picture with this guy saying, I bumped into my top OnlyFans spender when I was out today. And it seemed like he was stalking her. All of the text messages were just insane stalker messages. Like, why aren't you answering me? I've sent you so much money. How dare you? And it just sounded like he was a dangerous individual. Well, apparently this guy went on the Adam 22 podcast and he said all of it was faked and that her managers paid him to get a tattoo of her face on his body.
Oh my god.
And he was falsely accused, essentially, of being her stalker.
She threw him under the bus, basically.
Let's watch this.
Kind of, yeah.
The number was fake.
He's correcting the
It's a
record.
real account, but it's not.
He does look like someone who
an
would
actual
be
account that's paid into
a top
Ruby
OnlyFans
Rose.
subscriber,
Yeah.
though.
Some guy did spend 60 grand on her. It just wasn't you.
Yeah, it wasn't me. And at the same time, I'm like getting all this like hate and shit. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting weird. I was like, what's the next thing that's gonna happen? And then I did say we should like get some kind of tattoo going, like I'll get her name or something tattooed on me. I didn't think I was gonna get a portrait
Where's the portrait?
on the back of my leg.
Okay.
So now when that
He's going to wear long pants for the rest of his
first
life.
I'm the top spender, and then it comes out. I get the tattoo, and then it turns out to be I'm like some obsessive like stalker guy named Brandon, which was the guy on True Life, where he was addicted to porn, and that's why like in the messages it says Brandon OnlyFan creep or some shit. I wake up, I see this post, and it's like the tattoo one, right? And then I'm like seeing all the text messages, and I'm like, I didn't even like read it. Like I seen some of it, and it seemed like it was really bad, so I like just turned my phone off. Yeah, that shit was crazy. I don't know.
Also,
wearing the
this
same
guy,
shirt.
I don't know
he's
how
wearing the
to
same
narrate
shirt that he was
message.
wearing
What
in
is-
their picture together that says, when I die, delete my browser
What
history.
does the hat
no.
say? Something freedom veteran?
And he's also wearing the same glasses that he was wearing in that photo with her, which we tracked down and found out they were Snapchat glasses that can record video for you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Maybe,
So confirmed weird.
I don't know. The whole story, it sounds like he might be.
Think it's cope? Do you think he's
Covering
making it-
up a
covering it
little
up like
bit
it's actually
for-
real, and now he's like, oh, it's just it was a marketing ploy.
I mean, it's not like
guys.
he wasn't subscribed to her OnlyFans,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He seems like a weirdo. and,
Sounds like a setup.
It was making you go crazy.
Not crazy, but like anxiety, So
It's like the Tucker
So I
tweet
guess
that's
on
like,
one
the
hand, we
bitches
shouldn't be
set me up.
surprised.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, damn, Ruby Rose.
it made
That's
me
tricky.
think a lot
I
too.
didn't know that you were gonna bust that move out.
Yeah, and like I mean, they were like kind of like hinting things. Like when the team was talking to me or the agency or whatever the fuck it's called, I don't even know what it's called. They weren't like telling me everything that was going on. So it was like I kind of had like after I was like realizing what was going on, I was picturing it in my head after a while, and I was like, this is what they're doing. They're like trying to. They got the character, which is me.
Also,
And
the
then now we're gonna
character,
figure out
if
something
he's
else.
referring to a character, was a crypto billionaire.
Is he actually crypto rich?
A guy who invested
looks
in
like he
Bitcoin
could be.
early,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Man, I wish that I had $400,000 in
Yeah.
Bitcoin to throw around."
This
That's
could
what
definitely
True
be
Life
major
is,
cope, right? Like, so there's
I don't
there's
know.
two options here. One, it's completely fake, and they did this and made it up, and it's all a charade. In which case, we are in post reality, which is why I believe in post concern society, because everything's fake anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Or it's real; it actually happened, and he's just now embarrassed and needs to try and.
It seems like he's embarrassed and trying to cover up what he did. Because how would her management team go to the effort of writing essays upon essays in text messages?
Well, I mean,
that
they get
she
all those.
showed?
They get all of that practice writing back to simps. Now they just had to write from the simp perspective.
I want more
It's just
clarification on the
ChatGPT.
tattoo. Like
Yeah.
he's saying that he got it as part of
A setup with her like production team, like the people that work for her as like promotion.
It was his idea.
He was
Said a simp interviewing a simp about being a simp.
Simpception.
Yeah, they also said he looks like Jack Murphy. I don't think so. I think it's just a beard.
No, yeah, he just has a beard. Jack Murphy didn't really look like that.
He needs
All
to
right.
shape the beard.
All right. Yeah, so that's just really sad. Mary, what the hell happened with Tom Selleck? See, I have a lot of love for Tom Selleck. We're talking Magnum P.I., we're talking Jesse Stone, and of course, Frank Reagan on Blue Bloods, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I do recommend everyone go and check that one out. But what the hell is it? This poor guy.
Yes, he. I had seen his name trending on Twitter the other day and found this tweet that was fake news about Tom Selleck, quoting something that he never said. So it's Tom Selleck on Trump. Quote, I pray all Americans who have seen and felt the meltdown of America with the Obama years to please fight for Donald Trump. He will not let us down. I pray for all good people to see clearly what faces us now. The right vote will save our nation. And apparently Tom Selleck never said this, and he's never come out and said that he supports Trump.
Yeah.
Even you said that he's publicly right wing, but not a Trump supporter.
So he was in the military, and he's very pro gun rights and like supports the NRA, and he has these famous clip back in the day like supporting the NRA on some talk show. And it's not hard to believe that.
Well, what's this about a reverse mortgage?
Yes, he's also that's the other. He shills some reverse mortgage that you can get on like. You see it during daytime television. It shows-
Okay, that's what people hate Tom Selleck for. But this fake quote has spread around for so many years that Snopes had to make an article fact-checking it. And as it turns out, this is actually a quote from Jon Voight. So I saw a bunch of tweets that believed it, unfortunately. They said, Tom Selleck is trending because Jon Voight is an a-hole. Tom Selleck is also an a-hole, but for different reasons. NRA, fleecing old people, etc. There's a lot to that, etc. Unless something has changed, he's not a Trump supporter. He is, quote unquote, independent with strong libertarian leanings, so he's a Republican. And then I also saw people talking about Kelsey Grammer, because he recently talked about supporting Trump. And they said Kelsey Grammer is one Roseanne Barr away from becoming Jon Voight, which just means these are three people that I hate for no reason because of their political views.
Yeah.
And I saw another boomer tweet. We got Taylor Swift, misspelled Taylor there, and Mark Hamill. They can keep their washed up actors and failed one-hit wonders like Jon Voight, Roseanne Barr, Kevin Sorbo,
Scott
Baio,
Ted Nugent,
Kid Rock, and forgot their name.
Hey, I mean, let's face it. Kid Rock is in hot water now because he's boycotted the Bud Light boycott. So maybe he's persona non grata.
How do you boycott a boycott?
He's done with the boycott. He's called done with the boycott. So
He just missed his Bud Light so much.
Then
That's
people
the
started
better
hating
version of
on
that.
Jon Voight because they found out that the quote belonged to him. And they said Jon Voight is an effing anal sneeze, fart laps, ass thunder, cut loose, Trumpa Loompas, MAGA piece of shit.
they just have
not
this.
even
They
a
have
good
this way. There's just this insane language that people who are terminally online, like terminally on Twitter, users have this way of talking where it's like, it's how they imagine, what I picture it as is when they're typing it out, it's like, you ever heard, like, we've talked about shower thoughts, like how you imagine your comeback would be if you thought about it in the moment. As they're typing it out, this is everything they wish they could have said to their bullies when they were younger. All of the men and probably women who shoved them in lockers when they were kids.
You can hear the metallic echo.
Yeah, and they're going like this, and they're like, like that. That's how they talk. It's just this
Trumpa Loompas.
It's this childish.
Bad Cheeto man, essentially. And we were talking about this because we were guessing like the profile of the people who tweet like this.
Yeah.
And I'm confident it's definitely boomers and Gen Xers that tweet like this if they're leftists. When millennial leftists tweet, it's more in the tone of like, friendly reminder that you should be saying unhoused people instead of homeless because it's humanizing language. they say like friendly reminder.
You just have to. You just have to.
The boomer leftists are always like, they're Trumpa-loompa maggots.
Yeah.
They really need to get off their phones, and it's unfortunate. I said they have no excuse to be this addicted to the internet and smartphones if they were invented when they were in their 30s.
Yeah.
At least the iPad kids, they know nothing else.
I mean, I knew people who started smoking cigarettes at 25. Like, and I'm just like, bro, my generation was the one of like the target market generation where you got nothing but ads about how it was bad for you. Like, you don't have an excuse either, but people make mistakes. So these people, they're like, I love this phone. I'm going to start saying all the mean things that I wish I could have said, knowing that this time I'm not going to get punched in the face.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
These people need to spend time with their grandchildren instead of spending time with Twitter.
Well, their grandchildren probably think like them. It's worse when the kids see it one way and the parents see it the other way, and then they cut off contact with their family members. One thing that we were going to cover, and I left it in the queue for like a week, and then we never got to it because we covered Israel versus Palestine from the celebrity perspective, but not a ton. There was like Angelina Jolie and John Voight were like arguing about Israel and Palestine. And I'm just like, that's just sad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's just sad that father and daughter are like they're not arguing to each other.
They're both arguing through the media headlines.
About each other, right? And that's just sad.
I actually didn't know that John Voight was Angelina Jolie's father.
Because you were like, how does he produce her?
I looked at pictures of them, and then I looked at pictures of her mom, and they don't look like her.
I think she looks like her mom.
Well,
like
her mom when she was younger,
right?
yeah. But then I look at more recent photos; they just don't look like her.
Like, really,
2 wrongs make a right.
I was like, it's like 2 X's.
Cancels out.
Cancels out, and then she becomes beautiful. But you got to leave Tom Selleck out of this, because one of the things that sucks is like a lot of these celebrities, unfortunately, due to the climate that we live in now, they have to choose to be strategically quiet. You know, he's 8, because like Tom Selleck's getting up there in age, right? Like Blue Bloods is about to go off air. It's going to have season 14 and then it's done. And this dude who probably doesn't use Twitter, who probably doesn't use social media, doesn't need you to sit there and lecture him because you don't like the companies he's sponsored by or the fact that he supports people having a right to own firearms.
You're right. He doesn't have a Twitter account.
Nor should he.
He probably is better off for it. Otherwise, he'd see his name trending and be like, oh, I wonder why I'm trending.
Yeah.
Oh, it's some shit that I didn't say.
I mean, just think about that. That's something that's completely unique to the world we live in now, where like I remember watching old television shows and they'd be like, have you ever Googled yourself? And then you wonder, like, we now live in a generation where you get a weird curated list based on outside perspectives or your own posts of your existence. Right? And that's just weird. Like, especially if you're a celebrity, now you type things. It's why people made such a big deal about when they thought that Taylor Swift going to the Jets game or whatever was like strategic SEO to get Taylor Swift and Jet out of the search algorithm.
Well, whether it was intentional or not, it did work that way.
Yeah.
It worked out for her.
I don't think that was intentional. I think that was people.
Everything Taylor Swift does is intentional because she's a Luciferian spirit.
She's evil, right? My favorite Magnum PI is responsible from Tom Selleck is responsible for one of my favorite memes of all time. Have you ever seen that one where Magnum's walking by the church and he sees a nun on a ladder and he walks by her and he stops. He goes, nuns don't work on Sunday. And he pulls out his gun and he shoots her and she falls and it's a bad guy.
I have seen that.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest of all time. I love that meme. So if he's been responsible for such a treasured thing, I think we should give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Also, I do recommend, like we were talking about whether that A24 movie would be in any way balanced. Right? Like, are they able to give us a balanced view on the idea of civil war, or is one side going to be a mustache twirling villain, and is the other side going to be like the impervious good guys who are just out to save the world? And one thing that Blue Bloods, the show that he's part of, does really, really well is that part of the show is that every episode, basically, they talk about the case with the family and they sit around the dinner table and they talk about it. But since all of the characters are good guys or they're protagonists in the show, you actually get like rational viewpoints on fairly substantial issues like race violence in America, policing, drugs and things like that. But since they can't frame any of these people as the bad guy, you have to get reasonable takes from all of them, which is just not something you usually get from most of modern entertainment. One viewpoint tends to always be painted as some like just lunacy, right? And it's not like that on that show. So I do recommend going and checking that out. And I would like to see more of that in entertainment. So maybe we need more Tom Selleck. Maybe we could clone him somehow.
De-age him.
We could de-age him.
Sell his likeness to an AI company.
Yep. All right. What do we got here? What would you ladies like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Sarah decides today.
Trying to think. Let's do cringe of the day.
Cringe first?
You're going to see both whether you like it or not, so it's kind of irrelevant.
I don't mind getting one out of the way first. All right. Let's do this one. Mary found this one earlier. Let's watch this.
Have to ask because there's chemistry sitting here. Is this like a little romance?
No.
It's not.
No.
Well, then you guys really.
But we do love each other, and honestly, this is one of the most spectacular humans I've ever met. She's really incredible.
Oh, well, y'all are so cute together. Well, I just want to say I'm glad that you guys are in this movie together. Y'all are adorable, and I love that you bring your families with. I think that is the coolest. Have to ask because there's chemistry sitting.
Wait, so like they both bring like their families and loved ones, and they're like, wait, so are you guys together? He's like, no, I came with my girlfriend. She came with her boyfriend.
Well, I love that they say like, no, we're not dating, and she's like, y'all are so cute together.
Yeah.
She just doesn't accept the answer. I mean, if they really were serious about marketing this flop of a movie, Anyone But You, they would be faking a relationship right now, but they don't care enough, do they?
I haven't even heard of the movie. Maybe they should fake a relationship.
The movie poster for it is so bad. They like strategically hid Sydney Sweeney's boobs, and I'm like, I mean, I understand if it's some other genre, but it's a rom-com. Isn't she supposed to look hot?
Yeah.
Yes.
I said Hollywood has a crippling phobia of romance, sensuality, and Sydney Sweeney's boobs.
And that is a crime in and of itself.
And that guy is, was he in Top Gun Maverick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, he was. All right. Let's go ahead and do Q today. We got a couple here. First one from Bucky Ducky says, say hello to our retired racer Dax. She isn't very smart and doesn't have a prey drive, so she wasn't good at racing, but she won the real race, the race to retirement.
Aw.
I guess that's what matters. The race
Take a closer look at that snout.
Oh my goodness.
Those are prey eyes. There's nothing going on behind those eyes. Yeah, she is the prey. That's sweet.
Oh, wait, I gotta do that.
Very cute.
That is
Love
adorable.
the sweater.
All right, let's do one more here. All right, this one's from Alistair. It says, do strays count for PCC pets? These two strays wandered into my yard. My wife and I kept them in just in case someone came looking for them. 30 minutes later, they escaped, but it was fun playing with them for a bit.
Wait, what?
Oh, they're so cute.
I hope they have a home.
I hope so, too. Whoa. Zoomies.
Whoa.
Big puppy energy.
Yep.
Oh, it's a tiny one.
Very cute.
They look
All right.
feral.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Rife got into a bit of hot water a couple weeks ago. He had a bit for his Netflix special that made jokes about domestic violence, and the internet was not very happy with that. So he came out, he had his own clapback to that. He told them to all go and get basically special needs helmets, and the internet went mad about that as well. But now he's in hot water again because he has gotten into a fight with a 6-year-old on the internet.
Yes, the 6-year-old boy's mother allowed him to hop on her TikTok account and respond to one of Matt Rife's jokes, which mentioned Jupiter because this kid loves space. And I thought that this video was cute and nothing to take personally. But Matt Rife has a quality that no comedian should have, which is that he is highly sensitive to criticism. And he decided to clap back at a 6-year-old child and comment something mean under the video. Let's take a look at the video that the kid posted first.
Yeah, here we go.
Nothing to do with the stars, man. Just because Jupiter has a ring and you don't, doesn't mean...
It's Saturn that has the rings. And it has more also, and you're mean to girls.
That was the extent of the video, okay? And Matt Rife decided to be a big meanie and comment on this kid's TikTok. He said, what was the comment? It was like, yeah, he said Jupiter also has a ring. Oh, and Santa Claus isn't real. Your mom buys you presents with the money she makes on OnlyFans. Good luck.
Gosh. A your mom joke?
Yeah, a your mom joke. And by the way, look, I would have found it funny if the mom actually did have an OF.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
she actually did.
She's going to be the one that sees the comment. Hopefully the 6-year-old boy is ignorant to all of this happening. But the mom doesn't have an OF.
There was no reason for him to
she doesn't have an
respond to
OF
this.
at all.
Yeah.
So it was just he tried to own her, and it really missed the mark and just made Matt Rife look like a prick, which is not a great look to start beef with a kindergartner. But if he really wants to get back at this kid, he should start dating his kindergarten teacher.
Yes. Or his mom. Is the mom married? That's what he really...
Well, clearly the mom is not a fan of Matt Rife.
Have you ever seen the video on Instagram about the kids playing like Call of Duty, and a guy comes in and he's like, I guess the kid beat him like years ago, and now he's dating his mom just to get back at this kid who kicked his ass in Call of Duty, and he comes in and he's like, oh, you don't remember me? And then he lists his username and then just leaves.
That's what this kid's gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna grow up to date Matt Rife's mom.
So his mom is Bunny Hedaya, who is an influencer on TikTok. She's got several 100,000 followers. Should we watch her response?
Yes,
okay,
she made a
let's watch her
response video to Matt Rife.
Here we go.
Rife has decided to start beef with my 6-year-old child online. Yeah, you heard me correctly. My 6-year-old child online. So, my name is Bunny Hedaya. If you don't know me, Hedaya means gift. And this is my gift to you, reading Matt Rife to Phil. Like Matt, I have a full female audience online. Although, I like mine. I don't want them, man. You can keep them. Please. I will gladly take your audience because we know you can't satisfy them anyways. This all started when his comedy special, which, if that's what we're calling comedy, the things he said that weren't even funny were posted on TikTok, and I started being tagged in them because everyone knows that my son is like a genius and he's really into space. I fiercely protect my child online. I'm not a family channel. People know his name.
If you post him online, you're not fiercely protecting him. That's a lie.
Well, she posted about this after the fact when people said that, you know, you shouldn't have him on the video at all. And she said, like, he's always asking to...
This is clout chasing via him.
He's always asking to, like, be on my TikTok, and I say no 99% of the time. I don't let him read comments. I don't let him interact with anybody. So I think that's, like, a good measure to take.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
They know he likes space, they know he likes Minecraft, and that's pretty much it. Most people do not know any personal details about my child. And because of that, and because I have such a large audience,
other than what he looks
when
like,
I see people in person and when people see space clips, they tag me in them because they know that that's what he likes. This is the video that I posted.
Nothing to do with the stars, man. Just because Jupiter has a ring and you don't, doesn't mean...
It's Saturn that has the rings, and it has more also, and you're mean to girls.
I am not the type of content creator that usually talks about other people or other things for views. I focus my content only on me because guess what, Matt? I'm interesting enough on my own. But I also didn't pay for my looks, so that's not really what people follow me for. You look to the video on here, you can see that all the comments were like, oh my god, he's so smart, he's so cute, like, oh my gosh, yeah, girl power. You, he's not tagged in it. I have no connection with him, and it was posted on a Netflix page. While you clearly took a lighthearted video and turned it into fighting with a 6-year-old, let's talk about the comments that you said about me. This is my IG where he left the comment, okay? Do I look like... I don't even show my body. For you to assume that every single woman online makes money by showing their bodies, which, like, if that's what you do, girl, do you. Like, love it. I have never made a single dollar from a man. Audience is female, 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 female. And a little bit of the gays and nays. You can't accept the fact that people may like women for their personalities. No, you don't have one. You stick to circle jerking, the men that you need validation from, and I will gladly take your female audience that you so desperately want to get. No, it hurts because I'm richer than you. For a Forbes article to fake it. And I really wish you luck on what's left of your career, but keep my child's name out of your mouth.
She doesn't get to say that because she put her kid on the video. So first of all, she's really bad at snark.
Yeah.
She's not good at it.
She comes off as far too normal to do a clapback video.
She's not good at snark. When they do the purposely like whisper voice, it's supposed to enrage you.
She's being overly friendly.
Yeah, and she's just really bad at it.
She's probably so excited that this
but I think like
she's a hypocrite.
Before this ever happened, Matt Rife commented on that plastic surgeon's Instagram video. The plastic surgeon was implying that Matt Rife was one of his clients, and then Matt Rife commented this like really pressed thing that was like, lying about your patient's medical history is against the law, by the way.
Oh my gosh, he's such a dork.
Like,
it just makes him look like he's overly sensitive, which is a trait that no comedian should have.
The best thing the mom could have done is not write a response, because I was on the kid's side until she made the response video.
Well, it's his mom. It's not the kid.
And now I'm back to taking his side just because she's annoying, but not even in a good way. She's not good at snark.
Yeah.
You should make me angry. You shouldn't.
I mean,
just make
both
me
of
go,
these
"Oh."
adults are like insufferable in this situation, right? The mom putting her son on Instagram for clout, responding for clout,
but then
him
saying that she doesn't
responding
do
to
it.
the video,
and then saying she doesn't do it. She's
right?
like, I don't put my son
exactly.
on my TikTok for clout, except for when I do.
except for literally this
when
video.
I do. She's like, no, they don't know anything about my kid
Well,
except for that he likes Minecraft and
there's a difference
and-
between being a stage parent and completely erasing like your child's existence from the internet altogether. There is a difference.
There is a.
between those
It's also
things.
fair to point out that Jupiter does in fact have rings, right?
They both
Well, yes,
Yes.
Jupiter does have rings. They're just not as visible as Saturn's rings. So I guess technically, if you're going to look it up and fact check it, yes, Jupiter has rings. But look, if you're writing a joke about a planet that has rings in your Netflix special, you say Saturn.
Yeah.
Matt.
Agreed.
It makes more sense.
The kid,
And your dick.
the kid kind of won in all this.
He did, yeah. And also, he never saw the comment, so he still believes in Santa, which is all that matters.
Yes, that part was the funniest part. Is that it's such a go for the throat for like to go after a child like that.
Yeah, he went after his mom and Santa Claus.
I guess it could have been
dang,
worse. It could have
dude.
been like, in your mom's divorce is your fault or something like that. Like,
I don't even know if she is divorced.
I thought I saw a ring on her hand in the video.
Yeah, that's probably a second. She's on her with a personality like that. She's on her second marriage by now, at least. So
Yeah, I mean, I was fully like defending Matt Rife's ability to make a joke about offensive topics and be edgy, even though I didn't personally find the joke funny. I didn't find it offensive either, but I feel like he's just pushing the boundary now. Like, it doesn't seem like it's funny to him anymore. It seems like he's pressed and like bitter that people didn't receive it well.
I'm not that mad that he came after the 6-year-old. It's the mom's fault if she's going to put that 6-year-old on the internet. I'm mad that it wasn't an actually good nor funny joke from a career comedian. That's why I'm not like
maybe
on
he's
his
gotta
side.
maybe he's gotta take his phone away at night. That's what you gotta do for some of these celebrities.
Matt or the kid?
Matt, like, for a lot of the celebrities, like you solve a lot of these problems by just like taking their phone away so they can't. We just spent a whole topic yesterday talking about Selena Gomez arguing with her own fans on the internet. Like, how do they have? You're famous. Don't you not have time for this?
A man with lip injections and cheek filler can't be funny. Sorry, it's not possible. It's just extremely viscerally repulsive to me when men seem overly concerned with their appearances. Like,
what's the correct amount they should be concerned with?
You should care about how you look and not be a slob,
Yeah, like,
obviously.
wash your
but
hair.
if you're like primping yourself and you're getting cosmetic procedures, you're getting fillers in your face, and you have a fake jawline and fake lips and like Botox, and you look like a real housewife, it's definitely a female trait. And we know that female comics aren't funny. So
ipso facto, we've come full circle.
Ipso facto, I don't find Matt Rife's jokes funny because I just think that he's too sensitive. Yeah. And he accuses and projects like everyone else is so sensitive.
It's
when he's like not that great at taking criticism or jokes that are made at his expense.
In the chat, somebody says, if you give your kid your public profile to reply to something, you're setting it up. You forfeit any right to be outraged. Yes, the mom has no right to be pissed.
Mm-hmm. Gordon Shumway also sent a $20 saying there's another planet that has rings. Look it up. At least Matt didn't go there.
Yes, it's the other one, the one with the funny name.
Oh, Uranus.
Yes, that one.
Mary's the only one mature enough to say it.
In the chat, somebody,
I thought that it was. I looked this up earlier. I thought it was Venus.
Could be. more.
I mean,
I just like the fact that we're getting back into space. Yeah. Let's talk about space more, right? Space used to be cool to talk about. It's like those.
I was wrong.
Here I am bringing up memes again. It's like it says like 4-year-olds will see one of these and make it their whole personality, and it's like it's like Tonka truck, fire truck.
Dude, I saw this podcast that Emily Ratajkowski did with Julia Fox, and they both have.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Didn't they already do one?
I think it was multiple because I
Okay.
hadn't seen this clip before. They have sons that are similar ages. They're both like toddler age. And they were talking about the toys that their sons like. And they're like, yeah, they're like obsessed with trucks. Like they identify as trucks. And I'm not kidding. Emrata literally said like she ordered her son a tea set and a doll so that she could offset his love of trucks and traditionally masculine toys. So she could balance it out and like go against the conditioning. There is no conditioning that makes a 2-year-old boy raised by Emily Ratatouille, by the way, like trucks.
Yeah.
It's just because he's naturally attracted to those things because he's a boy.
Right.
It's the world we live in now.
Psychotic,
even the most
cluster B mothers, man.
Even the most natural of behavior is something you have to push against for the sake of the message these days. You're not allowed to just like trucks.
And where does the tea party tea set come from? It's because it's a traditionally like little girl game that they love to play.
It would also be cool if he like she gets him like a doll and he runs the doll over with the truck and he's just like running it over and over
yeah,
again.
she also said I ordered him a pink truck. Yeah. It's just so weird. If I had been forced to play with boy toys as a girl growing up, I would have been infuriated by that. Why is it okay to do that to boys?
Yeah, is the father in the picture? Like
no.
Okay.
No, they're both. I think they're both divorced.
I think somebody said that this lady is divorced, so score one
Brett
for
was
me.
right.
I don't know if that's true. I can't fact check that right now, but if true, she talks like a divorced woman.
Well, she sounds like she hates men.
Yes.
Based on that video too.
I mean, if the kid likes space, make the video about space and don't have him add that line that's like, you're mean to girls.
I mean, he might have like. I was wondering about that. I was like,
why would a 6-year-old watch a Matt Rife special anyway?
Does he even know what she's talking about when he said like? Does a 6-year-old know what anything he just said means, anyways?
Yeah.
I bet that she was explaining to him how Matt Rife is a bad man and how he hates women and he shouldn't grow up to hate women and make jokes like this.
Right.
And then one thing led to another, and they ended up making a TikTok.
How to raise a male feminist.
I like silly SpongeBob's response. He says, but Matt going around online to start these extremely weird beefs with someone is just weird AF. Why doesn't he do it with a sock puppet account? Oh yeah, Cloud. He should just go around with a sock puppet account. It's always funnier.
He needs to clap back that badly.
Just go do it.
It could be good for his career if it was good.
I'll never like. Here's the that's got to be such a weird. It's just such a personality that I'll never understand. Like the need to say something so badly, but you can't. Like it's almost
it's a
like
show business
it's your,
personality
no, it's your
trait.
id, right? It's like you can't stop yourself from doing it. The only thing that can stop you from doing it is your name attached to it. But you need to say it so badly that you have to say it under a pseudonym is childish behavior.
There were plenty of insufferable women who were making TikToks trashing Matt Rife after his special came out. He could have clapped back at any of them easily. They're easy to roast. Why a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
Just not a good look.
Maybe he's like, look, this will make for funny headlines. Matt Rife starts fight with 6-year-old child.
Well, people think he's trying to get canceled.
Yeah, I mean, well, and he's. It seems like a lot of people were saying like with his most recent special, like he's trying to actively change the demographic of his audience, meaning that his demographic is mostly women, and he wants to court a male audience.
Yeah, like an edgy comedian.
So the only way to court a male audience is
Make
making jokes about women. I mean,
6-year-old make jokes about women,
beefing with 6-year-olds and making jokes about women. I mean, it just seems like he thinks about women all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I still say when I look at pictures of him now that I can't, none of the pictures that show it here, but in some of these old photos of him, he looks like what he looked like to me in some of the old photos is he looked like somebody tried to draw Andy Samberg from memory and they came up with like a male model version of Andy Samberg.
He looks like handsome Squidward.
Is that like a before and after of him for his plastic surgery?
Is there?
I mean, his younger photos look a lot more human.
Yeah.
I think he would have looked fine if he never got any of that work done. I don't know why he's trying to change his face like that. It looks horrible.
Oh, yeah, for
it looks bad when women do it, and it looks bad when men do it all around. But I mean, at least when women do it, it's understandable because they care more about their appearance.
For sure, had some work done, and he was cute before.
There was no need
before the work.
All right, Mary, let's go super chats.
Andrew Jacobs said, "Howdy, people from the Clint Torres of PCC."
Oh, so you get to be.
Well, if he wants to say hi, he should do it himself.
Or is he saying that he is the Clint Torres of PCC, whereas Clint Torres is the Clint Torres of what, IRL?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We used to see him in the chat more. Kobe McGuire said, "My favorite Taylor Swift Sucks podcast."
I would like to.
Is it the Rachel Zegler Sucks podcast or the Taylor Swift Sucks podcast?
We take a much harder stance on Rachel Zegler than we do on Taylor Swift. Like,
at least with Taylor Swift, we respect the grind.
For most of this stuff, I was talking to Mary about this earlier. I said this job it's completely sucked the ability to care out of me. I look at all of these people the same way I look at serial killers. I have no more emotion for these people than I do for terrorists or serial killers. I don't. I'm mentally dead inside with most of these topics. I look at it with mild curiosity at most. That lady that we just watched, who's trying her best to make you mad by doing her cutesy girl, I'm trying to be funny voice, I just felt dead inside. I'm like, I remember the good old days when this would have made me mad.
You just don't feel anymore.
I'm dead inside.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Hey Brett, when do you get a kitchen installed in the studio?" Sorry, Mary and Sarah, I couldn't resist. LOL.
Yeah, I mean, if they were smart, they would ask for it because they would know that's where they belong. But they're not. They're not doing that.
He also said, "Got the black mug this morning. Should have the white one on Friday or Saturday. I'll shill them both in my own special way when the second one comes."
Let's go.
Amazing.
Let's hold off on the rest and we'll come back after the fact. All right, let's move on. What's going on with Taylor Swift?
Yeah, so Taylor Swift, we talked about her last week because she had a concert where she was performing on something that appeared to be the esoteric black cube symbol. We talked about how she might be performing witchcraft rituals at her concerts. And now an exorcist has launched an investigation into the Eras tour. And he says, maybe you shouldn't go to these concerts because whether Taylor Swift intends it or not, you might be summoning demons unwittingly. So let's take a look at this priest's videos. His name is Father Dan Reel, and he is an exorcist from the Diocese of Nashville.
Okay, here we go.
Recently, there's been a lot of brouhaha.
Brouhaha.
The Taylor Swift
it's like hullabaloo
tour called Eras. That somehow there's witchcraft happening in the concert. Now, there's a lot of things to consider here, and witchcraft and Wicca, it is a very fast-growing religion, if you want to call it that. And in 2001, there were about 134,000 witches, self-proclaimed witches in America. Today, there's over 2 million. And
that's a remarkable jump.
For witches can be bought on Amazon or in retail stores around the country. So it is a growing practice, you could say. And what do? Well, they're harnessing energy, or they're trying to harness energy. And they look at the earth with the elements of water, fire, earth, and sky, and they believe that they can harness this energy in some ways to do good and in some ways to do evil. And the problem with the concert is that whether Taylor knew she was trying to imitate witches or in fact was doing some kind of occult ceremony during the show is sort of irrelevant to the demons. She is an incredibly talented and influential artist, and so the demons will take deep note of what she's doing and how she's doing it and who she's influencing. And so when they imitate these rituals with these orbs and these black capes that looks like something you'd find in the woods, even if her intent was not to practice any witchcraft or do any of the incantations, she is probably attracting a lot of demons to her concerts. And that's where the problem can lie, because then you have these little girls who, literally sort of worship her, who are now putting themselves in a position where they could be attacked by demonic forces. So,
okay.
Yeah, so he's referring to cloaks and orbs, and this is because when she's performing the song Willow from her Evermore album, all of her backup dancers and her are wearing these black cloaks that have a witchy aesthetic, and they're dancing around synchronized with these glowing orbs in their hands. And I went and watched her music video, and there's a part in the music video where she finds this ritual going on in the woods and joins in with all of these people in masks and cloaks around this energy portal of some sort. And it's suggestive of witchcraft, but not explicitly so. And he said, it's kind of irrelevant to the demons whether or not you intend to do incantations or witchcraft, or whether you intend to summon demons. And that is true. And we talk a lot about, like, when these celebrities use occult imagery and appear to be making esoteric references, is it because there's some edgy creative director? Is it because they just think it looks cool? Or is it because they actually do intend to perform occult rituals and invite demons and evil forces onto their fans and their audiences? And I guess that means when we ask that question, it actually doesn't really matter what they intend to do.
Right. I think sometimes the truth is so obvious we want to overcomplicate it. If someone is doing a ritual that uses satanic imagery or demonic imagery, not that they did that here at the Taylor Swift concert, but this is reminding me of like Bohemian Grove, like the Alex Jones Bohemian Grove videos. But
True.
Some things you can take at face value.
True. How about, Brett, show us the video of her from her performance, and you guys can make up your minds what you think it all means.
Oh, which one was it? I don't
It's
know.
it's from the article. It's a TikTok that's in the article.
Is it up farther? Oh, okay. Hold on. Here we go. We're gonna have to click and actually watch it on.
What is this? What is this?
That's what they had there.
What is this?
Hold please.
Some kind of satanic ritual.
That could be satanic.
That was a
in and of
satanic
itself.
ritual. What the? What?
There we go.
I'm sorry. I'm still recovering from that.
Brett was unfazed by that.
The picture.
Yeah. It gets like more intense, I think, as you go on, but
yeah. So they start, doing this synchronized dancing with these orbs. And it is intentionally reminiscent of witchcraft, that's for sure. So there you have it. An exorcist has given us the verdict. You probably shouldn't attend the Eras tour if you want to protect yourself from demonic forces.
It just looks like a bunch of art nerds to me. Some art nerd director got together with an art
Looks
nerd
like Broadway.
stage performer who got together with an art nerd song producer.
But
who,
look, then again,
by the power of Hollywood, will make up for all of the lockers they too were pushed into, like that person.
remember the
before.
Balenciaga campaign
Yes.
with Adidas, where they had these children holding teddy bears with BDSM bondage gear on them, and they showed this purse with these court documents about CP in the shot. That could equally be excused as a bunch of art nerds being what their idea of edgy is. And you could write it off that way, but also that would neglect to think about the deeper meanings, and those are intentional.
Yeah, it's the obviousness of the truth again to me. Like, I've been trying to lean into that more lately. I think especially if you tend to be conspiratorial and not like take things at face value all the time. Sometimes you want to delve deeper into something than is really necessary. But if they are putting like having children holding teddy bears with like BDSM outfits on, it's probably because they've seen it before and they're comfortable with it and they are exploiting children. Like, well, it just is what it is.
When Taylor Swift has the teddy bears with the BDSM masks on, then we'll talk about it. But until then, I just see a bunch of dork. Like to me, this is like maybe she's creating a Wiccan audience. Maybe she just wants a bunch of Wiccan
witchcraft
witches.
and Satanism is dorky.
Okay,
that's what it looks like because
maybe they got bullied into it.
It's cool. It's cooler if she is
direction.
evil. Like, to me, the cooler outcome here is that she actually is evil, and then it's at least interesting. This, to me, it's not very interesting when it just looks like a bunch of stage nerds got together and wrote this. To be fair, the production value on this is tremendous, and it looks it's gorgeously made.
The production value on the satanic ritual.
Sarah, I agree with you.
If I'm gonna have to look at satanic rituals, it better be well produced. Okay, I don't want to look at B-movie satanic rituals. I want blockbuster Satanism. I don't want a bunch of bullshit Satanism. I want it to be.
You don't want it half-assed.
I want it to be top-notch, high production value. I want it to look like there was some money put into it. If I got to look at the evil stuff, it better look good.
Put your back into it.
Exactly, right? Like, don't give me that and then say, "Oh, I just half-assed it." That's stupid.
Don't half-ass your Satanism.
Yeah,
Brett Dasovic 2020.
Go the whole way. If you're going to worship the devil, you should at least be paid well to do so and use that money and reinvest it into your rituals. That's way better.
Amazing.
Like, what is capitalism?
Reinvest it back into the economy.
I mean, Sarah, I agree with you. It's sort of like the saying, like, believe people when they show you who they really are or when they show their true colors.
Did she say in this, I'm a satanic devil worshiper? I didn't hear that.
She's showing, not telling. Isn't that the whole point of art?
She's okay. So
I just owned you with facts.
That was actually great.
No, what are the lyrics of the song? Because the lyrics of the song should technically be just as important as part of the performance. So what are the lyrics of the song while she's doing it?
Well, we don't know the song. Do you know the lyrics of the song?
I mean, I heard the lyrics when I watched the music video, and it is just a normal love song. Like, it's not that deep.
Okay, so...
But look, that would be a way to mask the imagery that they're using as something innocent.
The melody, maybe.
If she was singing about, hypnotic. I love Satan, like, that wouldn't really fly.
See, I would love that one. That one would be... Look, there's a band called London After Midnight that had a song called Demon that I absolutely love, right? But when the guy who runs the band's like a cringy socialist, and I look at this stuff and it's she would have any other explanation. She's like what? Like, I feel like it felt like I was being possessed by the devil with my emotion. Like, there's all sorts of stupid, lame shit you could say because it's art. And the other thing you consider when you're making stuff like this is like what makes for a great stage show. I don't know if I believe. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong.
Could it be
if they're
Satan?
If they are.
I'm just a Puritan that sees witches everywhere. I'm always searching.
If they're summoning demons, then
yeah,
I'll keep
Brett.
my eyes
Hollywood isn't satanic. Mary's crazy. There you go.
I didn't say that.
Case closed.
I didn't say that. What I said was, in this case, it doesn't look like that.
Well, look, beyond the accusations that Taylor Swift is a Satanist or a witch, there is the obvious truth, which is that she is a political operative being used by the powers that be for their ends, whether she knows it or not. And Jack Posobiec has been railing against Taylor Swift on the timeline incessantly. Everything related to Taylor Swift, he is quote tweeting it and being like, "Are you paying attention yet?"
Oh my goodness.
And that includes the recent video from Dylan Mulvaney, where Dylan Mulvaney got VIP backstage access to Taylor Swift's concert in Los Angeles recently. I thought this might mean that Taylor Swift is going to start dating Dylan Mulvaney after she leaves Travis Kelce, but that remains to be seen. Jack Posobiec said, "Are you paying attention yet?" He also posted a photo of all of these Taylor Swift magazines that are stacked shelf after shelf for women. And he says, "It's all totally organic." And the other person said, "What the hell is happening?"
I do have some...
These are just stacks upon stacks of Taylor Swift magazines. One of them It is a Taylor Swift at-home crafting guide.
I love it.
16 DIY projects.
She looks like
baking, scrapbooking, bedazzling, friendship bracelets.
She
the
literally-
ultimate Taylor
She looks like
DIY guide.
She looks like she's never held a spoon in her life.
This is the first time she's held a spoon.
She's like, I don't know what. She's never baked a single thing in her entire life.
Of course not.
She actually has, because in that song Thugs,
She must have.
in the song Thug Story, she says home baking Carol Delight. So maybe she bakes all the time.
So all of her
Personally,
lyrics are true.
I think that she's too busy to be baking.
Well, Jack Posobiec says, I will be proven right on Taylor Swift. It is inevitable.
Also, he says that this is all pushed by the media, right? And he could be right. But isn't this just the industry at work? She makes a lot of money, therefore she brings in a lot of revenue, therefore there's a lot of attention.
Okay.
Isn't that just the free market?
Yeah, but it's like if you keep breaking it down to this is just the industry and these are just the costume designers and these are just the choreographers, the fact that all of these things cross over and all of these things seem ritualistic, they seem manipulated.
Thank you, Ian.
In the middle of my
For interrupting
rant.
Sarah. All right, go on.
Go on.
Shouldn't it be worrisome that all of those things are coming hand in hand from the same place?
All
What-
of these
what do you
people
mean?
that you would think don't have a mutual interest are working together to astroturf Taylor Swift when she obviously is kind of mediocre.
No, here's
Very
the thing.
mediocre.
I see it as what it is people are latching on to something that makes them a lot of money. So what I noticed was like I started finding, much like Exorcist guy, the priest, sorry,
Exorcist guy, yes.
Much like the priest, what everyone's doing is everyone has their own. It's like when I showed you the video where I was like, why are they showing me videos of Taylor Swift's teeth? Like it's like this dentist who's breaking down her veneers. Everyone's got their own niche. And they're finding a way that they can fit her into it because she brings views.
Because she's the Antichrist.
Because she brings views and she makes money.
Because
and
she's the
and she's a hood-wearing Antichrist.
They created someone who was that, right? Because every album she's come out with has been completely different from her last. So she's covered all the different genres.
Except
she's
for the
done
time when she
country.
just remakes them, and then they're exactly like it was the
Yeah,
last time.
true. Just easy money there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's done every genre, hasn't she? From like country. The only thing she hasn't done is like rap.
She did. She did a rap song with T-Pain.
Well, there you go.
There you
She's
go.
covered all the bases.
Yeah, on Reputation also. Well, she's done every genre. She's shifted genres, so now she's gonna shift industries and move into politics, is what Jack Posobiec thinks. So, will she be running for 2024? That remains to be seen. But the most entertaining outcome is the most likely, as Elon loves to say. So
we'll have to wait and see. And if she is summoning demons, then I guess I'm wrong. But we'll wait.
The demons would want you to think that, wouldn't they, Brett?
They would want me to think that I was wrong or right.
The demons would want you to think that it's not demonic.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess.
The demons would want you to think that they don't
exist. The demons are going to have a
exist.
hard time getting me to care.
That's
demons,
really the problem.
yeah,
They're
like
just dead inside already.
They're going to have to work very hard to make me care somehow. But
okay, Taylor Swift shill.
What? that's like the no. It's no. I take no sides. I'm Switzerland here. I don't take either side. I'm not on the side of the good guys or the bad guys. I'm just there.
Really, because it feels like you're
Someone's
taking...
gonna claim you.
Or maybe I'm on the side of the demons and I'm just trying to get you guys to not believe that it's happening because I'm actually trying to.
What you're
gaslighting us.
Yeah, I mean that's completely possible. I could be gaslighting you right now. I don't know. You're acting kind of crazy, anyways. So
We're getting gaslit about our conspiracy
I think you guys like. Here's the
theories.
thing. You're acting a little bit like your mothers. You should calm down. You should calm down. I think you're getting a little hysterical, and the media has whipped it up into a frenzy, and you should just take a step back. It's going to be okay. Just calm down.
I'm waiting for the next American mass hysteria that spreads for women.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to be, I hope that it's Taylor Swift conspiracy theories.
All right, so Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said The Night Agent was the only good Netflix show this year. Brett, since you like Reacher, you'd probably like it.
What? Say it again.
The Night Agent. He thinks you would like
okay. All right.
Have you not seen it, bro?
I've not seen it.
It's so good.
Is it really? It's that good? Okay. Yeah. Is that the one with, who's the guy in that one? That's he was a child star before and kept acting? Can you look it
I
up?
forget. I remember he was really good, though.
Yeah.
The Night Agent.
What is it about?
Gabriel Basso?
No, not who I thought it was. Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out.
It's about an agent at night.
Apparently so.
Okay. Quite Blackfield said, crave and misbehave is my move. I don't know what that means.
Well, Netflix and chill, Hulu and do you, crave and misbehave. I don't know what crave is, but...
Okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
Shane H. Wilder said, wait, so all I had to do to get a date is talk about having a VPN and my joy of sailing the high seas?
Yes, that's all you have to do, Shane.
It's easier than you think. Just be yourself.
Let's do one more.
Bucky Ducky said, I want to make a robot cop and call it Stoptimus Crime. You didn't come up with that. I know you stole that.
I like it. All right.
If it's original, then kudos to you.
All right. Let's hold off on the rest and let's come back after the fact. So, guys, I'm gonna send this to Mary here in a second because I'm literally too old to understand the insanity of the world. But right now, we had a video a couple weeks ago and we had a headline. It basically said mass psychosis on TikTok, and it seems to be omnipresent because there is a new trend called shifting.
Yes. So here's a question for you guys. Have you ever watched a TV show or a movie franchise and thought to yourself, I wish I could live in the Hogwarts universe, or I wish I could live in the Star Wars universe, or the MCU? Probably not the MCU, because that would make you have to interact with Captain Marvel. But sometimes Gen Z thinks about these things and they let their imaginations run wild. And that leads us to the shifting trend on TikTok, or the perma-shifting trend. These Gen Zers on TikTok have convinced each other that they can travel to different dimensions by essentially daydreaming about them intensely.
But again, I've been told for the last several years that atheism is the way to go, and it's what is the big spaghetti monster, the flying spaghetti monster, right? And as an agnostic, I'm insulted that somebody like this would take, as somebody who doesn't take a strong stance on religion, I'm insulted that a generation of people who act morally superior to people who are religious then buy into stuff like this.
Well, the first time that I found out about the shifting trend was when I downloaded TikTok in the middle of lockdown era in 2020, and I saw all of it and thought it was kind of crazy, but it rose to prominence then and in 2021 when all of these articles were written about it, but apparently it didn't die down. It's still a thing, and someone posted screenshots from the perma-shifting community on TikTok that are essentially TikTok-induced schizophrenia. I see one called My Perma-Shifting Plan. I will be perma-shifting before the end of this year, but I will most likely perma-shift in September since I don't see a goal or point of still being aware of this reality. After I've perma-shifted, I will be shifting to all sorts of realities and will have my waiting room as my home reality. The reality I always shift back to after being in my desired realities. They say DRs as desired realities.
What the hell is the waiting room?
The waiting room is your home base. So that's the little waiting room in your brain that you go back to instead of facing your real life responsibilities. I have thought of plans to reincarnate after shifting to thousands of desired realities, but I honestly just prefer chilling in my waiting room whenever I get bored of shifting. I'll be shifting to thousands and millions of different types of desired realities, such as challenges, TV shows, etc. And I'll have a desired reality log list in my Lifa app in my waiting room to help track where I've been shifting to. There's another TikTok that's, he has no idea she perma-shifted for him and they grew old together. A lot of Gen Zers who believe in shifting also believe that they can shift to a different reality to find their soulmate. So that's cool, that's normal. And another said, shifting is so beautiful. It really is. You can explore so many places that God created. Yeah. And a lot of this started because of Harry Potter fans. And a lot of women who really have the hots for Draco Malfoy. And they decided they would just shift out of the real world so that they could live in Hogwarts and be Draco Malfoy's girlfriend. So they kind of took the fandom too far and decided I'm just gonna dissociate and pretend like I'm Draco Malfoy's girlfriend for the rest of eternity.
He's not leaving your whole reality hot.
Yeah, so It's not uncommon to stumble across a video explaining how you can literally be with Draco Malfoy through a process called reality shifting. Moving your consciousness from one reality to another reality, you can train yourself to shift into an entirely different reality, such as Hogwarts, and there are multiple methods to shift into a different dimension. They have different names. One of them is the Raven method, where you lie down in a starfish position, counting down from 100 while imagining your desired reality. And the other method is the Alice in Wonderland method, where you visualize yourself running after a person from your desired reality, for instance, Draco Malfoy, and jumping down a rabbit hole with them. It sounds similar to lucid dreaming, but most members of the shifting community would argue it's far more intense and realistic than any dream. And I say, let's hear from a member of the shifting community where she dispels some myths and rumors about shifting for us. Let's go straight to the source of this mass psychosis.
As you said,
hi guys, welcome to another episode where I tell you all about reality shifting. Today I want to talk about misconceptions. One of the biggest misconceptions about reality shifting is that it's lucid dreaming or daydreaming. That's not the case. Reality shifting is its own thing. Lucid dreaming and daydreaming are exactly that, dreaming. Reality shifting is placing your subconscious in a parallel universe. Totally different topic. Myth 2, is reality shifting safe? Yes, it's extremely safe. There might be some side effects like drowsiness after, but there's no actual harm that comes to you. Misconception 3, can my desired reality come from...
Let her finish.
No.
Let her cook.
Never trust advice given from someone who doesn't know how to regulate the audio levels on their background music. First of all, we're going to get copyrighted for this shit. And she doesn't even... It's louder than she is.
Yeah.
Okay, continue. Hold, please.
2D TV show? Yeah, it can. Your desired reality is a parallel universe which you make. So ultimately, it can be anything you want. Misconception 4, you could get stuck there? No, you can't. It's your subconscious, it's not astral projection. You'll come back. And lastly, misconception 5, shifting with other people in it. You could possibly shift with someone else in it, but you won't have the same exact experience. You might have each other in it, but that's about it. Happy shifting.
Honestly, this is kind of sad. So some people in her comments disagreed with her. They said, you don't make your own parallel realities. They actually already exist. And the world is a simulation. So that means that you can cheat the system and jump between all of these realities that actually do exist. Another one said, I want to shift so bad. I've tried and I can't. Please tell me how I'm stuck in the world I need to escape. Everything is going wrong in my real life.
The best part is there's sociopaths who don't do it either because it's not real. And they're like, oh, I can teach you how. Oh, you're missing out just to make this other person
Do you think
feel
they're
bad.
lying about shifting?
I don't
or did they
know.
have some kind of
I
experience?
think it's just their imagination. No? Like they're
How can-
using their imagination?
How can it go that far, though? I don't think I could ever convince myself that I time traveled or dimension traveled into Hogwarts.
Sleep paralysis?
They say that it's very distinct from that and that you're not asleep when you do it. So
what do I know?
It's all predicated on the belief that the reality we live in now is actually not reality. It's a simulation.
Well, that they hate their reality so much they want to escape it. But really, like, we are in control of our own reality to an extent, right? And if you don't like your life so much you want to escape it, you can change it. And responsibility, I think, is something that also people want to escape so badly, but responsibility gives you a sense of accomplishment and it feels good. So I think this sounds like a bunch of spoiled brats that
they're like, I don't want to go to my job at Starbucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to pay my student loan debt. I don't want to have to fight with my mean Republican parents. I'm going to perma-shift into Hogwarts. That's really the idea behind it. And it's really kind of sad that no one taught them any better, that they do have control over their lives and the reality that they live in, that they feel the need to escape into these TV shows and movies. But here we are.
This would be less unhinged if they were talking about doing so with the aid of psychedelics. If they were talking about doing this with DMT, or
None
if they
required.
if they were talking, that's why this is unhinged, right? If they were talking about doing this with psilocybin, or they were talking about doing this, I don't care if you're acid tripping, like.
Well, a lot of people who do DMT or psychedelic drugs, they're very much aware that whatever they're experiencing on those drugs is not real. Even after the experience is over.
People will talk to you about, like, what is the nature of real then, right? The drugs helped you access part of your brain that you wouldn't be able to access normally, right? That, at least, I see some logic behind it. To this, what I see is a TikTok trend that got defined weirdly and kind of grew out of control. Now, I could be completely wrong about this. Maybe all of these kids are like, maybe they're all psychics. Maybe these are all actually. Maybe
there's no way there are millions
were Project
of
Stargate
psychics.
people. Maybe these
Starseeds?
Project Star. The one from the government, right? Project Stargate or MK Ultra. Maybe these are MK Ultra people.
MK Ultra babies.
Maybe they're the babies of MK Ultra people.
Dude, that would actually be kind of cool.
The psychics that the CIA hired to try and be able to kill people with their minds, maybe these are the children of them.
We do have some testimonials from shifters. So Helen, 15, is a member of the shifting community. She said, I saw a lot of stuff on TikTok about shifting around a month ago, and that was the first I'd heard of it. I became very interested. I was confused at first, but I have a deeper understanding now that I've shifted myself. Shifting is a strange experience, and it's like an extremely vivid dream, yet it's more real than any dream I've ever had. Before I plan on shifting, I write myself a script in my notes app in which I plan exactly what happens in my desired reality. This makes it easier to visualize exactly what I want to happen, so I might script that I want to go to Hogwarts and for Draco to be my boyfriend and that he'll flirt with me. These poor girls need actual dating experience. They need real boyfriends. This is really sad. Another one is Allison, 18 years old, another TikToker who dabbled in shifting. I first got into Harry Potter in elementary school. My grandma loved the books and she would read them to us before bed. I always identified with the Slytherin house and had a crush on Draco. Recently, TikTok reopened my love for the series. Shifting is something I found fascinating and thought I'd try out. The shifting experience is different for everyone. I see bright white lights flickering and my body begins to vibrate and go numb. My legs will twitch and I'll start to feel my thoughts get lighter. I'll also hear people from my desired reality speaking, usually Draco. This sounds like schizophrenia to me, but
Delusion.
Unfortunately they got input from a real psychiatrist in this article, and she says that actually you can shift in a mentally healthy way as long as you don't lose an attachment to our consensus reality. She thinks it's perfectly healthy to have an idea of shifting yourself into the Hogwarts universe. We tell people to go to therapy to fix their lives.
Is this the type of thing where they say, oh, they'll grow out of it?
I certainly hope they will, but these people are not children. They're 15 to 20-ish years old.
Yeah, well.
The 15-year-old maybe, yeah, but the 18-year-old, that's a little concerning.
Yeah.
How is it not lucid dreaming? Do you guys get it?
Well, here's another testimonial that explains that. This one says, ever since I was little, I have used daydreaming and lucid dreaming as an escape from my reality. About a year ago, I came across shifting and immediately felt drawn to it. Shifting feels like real life. I've only shifted to Hogwarts once, but it was amazing. I made so many amazing friendships with the trio, Draco and Luna. It was the best time.
So is this like daydreaming with extra steps?
I mean, I hope it's that, and that they're not actually in a state of mass psychosis induced by social contagion.
What it seems like to me is I talk a lot about the idea that we have to give names to everything now, and we have this desire to categorize everything. And perhaps all of this is just really, really intricate forms of daydreaming.
But they're saying it feels like real life. There are people who have claimed they got stuck in a desired reality for like 8 years.
I would also
like that Star Trek episode, but they're saying it actually happened to them.
Clout.
Is there? How do they prove that?
They can't. That's the point. And I saw another really sad video from this TikToker, Poorly Drawn Boy. that says, when my parents keep asking what I'm doing after high school, but I plan on perma shifting. And someone commented, relatable, I swear, OMG, I have no plans for the future besides shifting permanently. Another said, same here, I'm just gonna shift to a bunch of different realities and live my dreams.
Are these kids like smoking too much of the devil's lettuce?
That's the thing. Back like I've changed my mind. This is awesome. Let him do it. I don't care.
You do?
I don't care. This is awesome.
Are you too black-pilled to give a damn?
This is what broke you?
Look, who cares? Let them.
Would you let your children reality shift?
Technically,
all
I can't stop them. I can't take anything away from them. I can take drugs away from kids.
Brett, you're not even real. You're in a different reality. You're not in their desired reality.
That is true.
So
make asylums great again. That was the thing.
Ronald Reagan made a big mistake.
Yeah. I get, like, to me, the concept itself isn't what's crazy. What's crazy is, I guess, the social contagion aspect of it to me, meaning that, I guess back in the day, somebody would have been like this. What this would have been, back in the day, you'd be at a party, right? You got your beer, you're in the corner, and you end up talking to somebody that you don't know, and they tell you this story, and then you tell your friends later how you're like, this dude, crazy story, dude. This dude was nuts. He seemed totally normal, but he was talking about how he shifts realities while he's sleeping. And that person exists at every party you go to. There's one guy like that. The problem is now they all get to come together on the internet, so it makes it seem crazier than it is. And then like
it would be less dangerous if it were daydreaming with extra steps, but I think that it's progressed to a point where it's becoming actually dangerous. Like, some people float the theory that you have to die in this reality, in the real world, so that you can perma shift to your desired
natural
reality.
Selection. If that happens, that's just Darwin. I
don't know. I think get the kids off TikTok is the answer here. I'm going to turn into Nikki Haley.
There you go.
Get these kids off TikTok because, we need to protect them from these things.
Right, because before it would have just been that one weirdo at the party, right? And now it's going to multiply and spread like every other social contagion that has come to existence, especially since TikTok became a thing.
Why does it work when you spread it on TikTok? You're spreading it to people that already see it the same way, right? Whereas the guy at the party is talking about it to people that all it does is give them a chance.
That's not true, because I said I came across the shifting trend in the middle of COVID lockdown. I had no idea what it was.
I wonder what shifting party guy's hit rate was on people he got into shifting by talking about it while drunk at a party.
There's also a similar trend where Gen Z is hypnotizing themselves to see their past lives. And this is another trend that I came across at the same time in 2020, where you're supposed to do this intricate visualization of what your past life was. And there were people like actually recording themselves crying and having mental breakdowns because they like saw the way that their past life died, or like, in my past life, I was a battered housewife in the 1950s. Or there were other people claiming like, my past life was Marilyn Monroe. Like, they actually believe this shit. They're not just doing it for clout. That's the crazy part.
I mean, it's like, it's terrifying to raise kids knowing that that's out there.
Not if you keep the damn phones out of their hands. Yeah, like, whatever happened to that?
And people not
maybe I was wrong about those demons that Taylor Swift was summoning.
There's a correlation,
and they just found their way into the shifters.
If you're hearing Draco Malfoy talk to you, it's probably a demon. It's safe to say that's probably a demon.
What is the thing that House says? He says, you talk to God, you're religious. God talks to you, you're insane. Like, it's in an episode. So this is, you talk to Draco Malfoy, you're a Harry Potter fan. Draco Malfoy talks to you, you're a little nutty.
Yeah.
You're a little nutty.
It's really sad that they're imagining finding boyfriends and husbands too. It seems like this is mostly women doing this, women and girls who are lonely, that are stuck in their bedrooms scrolling TikTok all day, and they don't have boyfriends.
What percentage of this is women? right?
Mostly.
Okay, so yeah, it's like women will post stuff like this and wonder why we've put restrictions on their behavior and movements for all of human history, right? Like,
no, you're right.
You're right. Look, like I was on the other side of the argument on that chaperone thing, but maybe I was wrong.
This is why Puritan witch hunts happened.
Well, women are
bitches be wildin'.
Right. We're way more susceptible to psyops and being swayed in our opinions. And so when you're constantly being like bombarded every day on TikTok and you're like a 15-year-old girl.
But Will Ferrell told me women should run the world.
Whatever age.
So,
well, this is why someone asked like on our space with Josie the other day, why do we pay so much more attention to the ways that pop culture and social media affects women instead of what it's doing to young boys? And I said, well, it's really because women pay more attention to social media and pop culture, and they have, therefore, an outsized influence on the culture from those outlets. And clearly women are the ones falling for these psyops. They're the ones doing these weird micro beauty trend TikToks on, you know, is she frog pretty or is she rat pretty? Is she girl pretty or is she guy pretty? They're always talking about body image, mental illness, and just working themselves up into a frenzy and spiraling into absolute insanity.
Maybe this is why they kept you ladies in the kitchen, because it kept you away from all of these trends. And then
I mean, I don't think that the men are completely immune to it, though. Like the boys and the men.
But these trends, these particularly egregious TikTok trends, tend to lean towards the women, I guess. And I don't know what the men get into. What ruins it for the men? I guess
Top G.
What is it? Yeah.
Top G.
Yeah. Or
I mean, porn is hypnotizing men.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time. At a young age, not just men though, like probably at a very young age.
I'm just there is no solving this problem. Sorry.
I disagree.
There is solving this problem. When you have your own children, keep them away from the dangers of TikTok and social media.
Yes.
Restrict their internet access. When you see, like, I mean, if you think we're bad off now with Gen Z growing up and going into the workplace and universities and, taking the mantle, this looks like a bad situation, but just wait until Gen Alpha is growing up, because they're going to be the first generation that never knew anything but the internet, and like a screen was one of their primary attachment figures growing up. So the difference between Gen Alpha that had restricted internet access and Gen Alpha that had unfettered internet access because of their parents' decisions, it's going to be a stark difference. We're going to be able to tell, and they're in for just a nightmare. Like, I don't know where this is going to go. Like, the iPad children are not, they're not fit to inherit the world.
There's a $20 super chat here from Patriot American. Says, guys, look up Anne Frank Reborn. It's about a Swedish girl who believed she used to be Anne Frank. She even went to the secret annex in Amsterdam where she had some kind of emotional episode.
When did that happen?
Don't know.
So someone had an emotional episode?
Yeah.
So, like, before the internet, someone, like, there would have been that one person that she thinks that she was Anne Frank in a past life.
Look, you watch.
Now we have people on TikTok by the millions thinking that they were Marilyn Monroe.
You watch any TV show, and there's always like a joke which is like, I was seated next to a homeless guy who thought he was the reincarnation of so-and-so, and that's like a joke you made. Right?
Yeah.
But now, because we're in the affirmation era, you have to say, of course, honey. Of course you were Marilyn Monroe in your previous life. Because your parents are just going to pat you on your head.
Your feelings are valid.
Your parents will just pat you on your head, say, of course that was true. Of course. What could go wrong? Right?
It's always like you're the reincarnation of someone super cool and special,
yeah, you're
right?
never the reincarnation of someone average.
Yeah.
Like, like that would be more believable. If somebody tells me I was the reincarnation of Joe Schmo 32 Electric Boogaloo on the internet, who nobody's ever heard of, that's fine. Nor do they ever pick anybody like they don't want to be? Like, do they ever say?
Is anyone ever the reincarnated Hitler?
Yeah,
they're like, oh no.
Actually, no. I think that wasn't there a thing about that? I could be. I don't know if I want to.
We got a $20 from Derpwing Duck. We old people, Gen Xers, were raised spending time with our imaginations, so there was no shifting. You could daydream and not convince yourself it was real. Modern kids don't get enough time without external stimuli.
Yeah,
That
this
is
was
for
real.
sure.
This was from February 2023. You don't remember this? I thought we talked about this on the show. Felix Cipher claims that he and his mother were reincarnated and that in past lives they were Adolf and Clara Hitler.
Clara?
Clara? I guess it was
That was his wife or something.
Bruh, what is this?
What?
This guy.
Even the mustache too?
Was he born looking like that?
Or is that a
That's
bull
a
ring?
It's a ring.
But it's meant to mimic the
Yes.
Hitler stash.
A TikToker claimed to be the reincarnation of Adolf Hitler in a since deleted video that exploded across the app. And I wonder why the kids are not okay anymore.
The kids are not all right. Oh, look at this.
So I need to tell you guys a little something about me. And you can call me crazy, you can call me whatever you'd like, any name under the sun. But I'm very in tune with my past and my past lives and lifetimes that I've lived before this one. My last life just so happened to be a very infamous one. Me offing myself was one of the first memories I had from that lifetime. It came to me when I was 5 in my nightmares. You can see right where I shot myself too.
What?
And just so many other things throughout my life have connected me to my past. And you can go say, oh, go get on your meds again, you nutter. I've been on so many meds and none of them have changed what I saw when I was 5.
Oh my goodness.
I am beyond words.
That's scarier than any scary movie I've seen.
So apparently it's boys too. Boys can also shift.
Yeah. Like I feel like you need a good friend group to just be like, dude, you sound crazy. You got to stop. But no, instead they go on the internet and they get validated.
Touch grass has never been a more relevant piece of advice. Wow. And look, you can cure these diseases by having just, isn't it 21 days to form a habit? 21 days without a smartphone.
Yeah,
That's all you need to cure these mental illnesses. But I guess they just don't have the willpower. They don't have parents or friends who care about them enough to tell them. Let's just go to Super Chats. I am done talking about this. Hiroshima Otaru said Hamill pressured his son's girlfriend to abort a baby. Is that true about Mark Hamill?
Yes.
I think I remember that.
That story's super evil, right? So anytime Mark Hamill virtue signals to you online, he tried to bully his son's girlfriend into getting an abortion.
It doesn't sound very pro-choice to me.
It's not very Luke Skywalker of him either.
DCNC said Matt Rife's reels with hecklers were really funny, but this is quite the fall from grace. Also said her son is a genius. Never mind, I take it back. Dude, every parent thinks that their kid is a genius these days.
That is true.
What is that about? Hypothesis said I feel worse for the kid having a mom like that. Surenko Productions said, okay, I'm on Matt's side now. Okay, it looks like it's settled.
Yep.
Shane H. Wilder said, I mean, the kid was punching down, going after Matt. LOL. In all honesty, what adult claps back at a 6-year-old? Sounds a bit desperate. Gordon Shumway, DCNC said she only watched Rife because she had a lady boner for his face. Okay, highly doubt that, since his face looks like the handsome Squidward meme. Shane H. Wilder.
One more.
Said he has a point. You can play with a Ouija board as a toy. Demons don't care. If anything, it makes their job easier.
Okay. All right. Well, perhaps that is true. All right, guys. Let's move on. This one makes a hell of a lot more sense to me than any of the other things we've talked about. So there are very few things that are for sure in society. Not a whole lot, but there are two things we know 110% with all our hearts, and that just about everyone hates Meghan Markle and Amber Heard. That's a universal concept these days. They have been voted number 1 and number 2 most hated celebrities in all the land for 2023. Meghan Markle, number 1, and Amber Heard, number 2. How do you feel about that? Is the order right on that one?
Wait, is that really the order? I'm looking at the list right now, and this was something that you can vote on, guys. If you look this up on ranker.com, you can vote for the most hated celebrities or vote against them if you disagree. So yeah, number 1 is Meghan Markle. Number 2 is Amber Heard.
Number 3 is Prince Harry.
That's hilarious.
I see that it's Ellen DeGeneres on my end.
Oh, I refreshed.
Okay, so it's changing live with your votes.
Ellen DeGeneres is number 4. She was also on a list for the most trustworthy celebrities, and I don't know if that's viable given all the stuff that's come out about her in the past. So
Prince Harry doesn't really make sense for number 3 because he's only dislikable in the context of his horrible wife.
She's so hated that even he got thrown on there.
Like, she brings out the worst in him, but when he's on his own, he doesn't really, like, you know, rub people the wrong way as she does.
I like how Oprah Winfrey is more hated than Bill Cosby, who's number 6.
Yeah, what is it that Oprah Winfrey did? Hanging out with Harvey Weinstein?
No, it was the Maui. It was probably the Maui thing.
Mm-hmm. Really?
It was probably everyone hated them because of the Maui asking for money when you're millionaires earlier this year. That's
what I thought it could be.
Well, yeah, Bill Cosby's on here for more obvious reasons. And Hilaria Baldwin.
More than him? I thought everyone hated Alec Baldwin now, too.
No, Alec Baldwin isn't even on the list. What? It's his annoying wife who LARPs as a Spanish woman.
You know what that means, right? Like
Hilaria. Her name is Hillary and she grew up in Connecticut.
Here's the thing. What it proves is like that when Trump beat Hillary in 2016, at that time there were plenty of people who believed that he pissed all over Russian hookers, and they're like, even in America, you can pee on Russian hookers and they'll
Trump
still
is not on the list.
vote, and they'll still vote for you over a woman. Here in America, you can literally kill your director of photography and you still won't be higher on this list than your wife, who's annoying.
You can kill someone and then say that you feel no remorse for it.
Yes.
And not be on the list of the most hated celebrities. Hilaria Baldwin is definitely annoying.
Her last name is Thomas.
Yeah, that was her maiden name. Like, who are you fooling, bitch?
Yeah.
But she claims that because she traveled back and forth growing up from Spain and Connecticut, so she picked up a lot of Spanish, and she pretends that she doesn't know English words. She's like, how you say a cucumber?
There was an episode. There was an episode of iZombie where the girl who ends up being the bad guy of the episode has a French boyfriend who's actually from Seattle, and he just talks with a French accent the whole time until he gets flustered, and then it comes out that he's just from the Pacific Northwest.
But I wanted to bring our attention back to Amber Heard and Meghan Markle for a second, because I wanted to know who you guys find easier to hate. And it looks like Meghan Markle has won the poll.
To me, Meghan Markle screams calculated evil or calculated annoyance with your husband, right? Like all aspects of controlling just destroys the manhood of this guy. Whereas Amber Heard is the kind of girl where you're like, she's nuts, but would.
Let her ruin my life.
Like, it'll be okay to let her ruin my life for just a little bit. Like, just a little bit.
Well, Amber Heard is the BPD
yes.
GF, and
The other
Meghan
one's a
Markle is the
sociopath.
or narcissist.
Yeah.
It's iffy which one.
And somebody in the chat correctly said Amber Heard will always be number 2.
Oh, no. Yeah, they owned her with that one. Yeah. Brie Larson was also on the list, by the way, but she was further down. James Charles was 8th, which is crazy because I didn't think that many people knew who he was.
Yeah.
The YouTuber makeup artist who has a penchant for young boys.
Chris Brown, again, number 9. Guy who has been documented beating women, still lower on the list than a woman who fakes an accent. So sorry, ladies. Like, you may get all the money from OnlyFans. You may be able to make that quick buck by taking your clothes off, but people are still going to hate you for next to no reason if they can.
Yeah. James Corden is on this list at number 10 solely because of that time when he ran into traffic to promote Cats the musical. In his fat cat costume. That was awful. Jake Paul is on here next. And I disagree with this. I don't dislike Jake Paul.
Yeah. I think he's more likable than his brother.
Yeah.
I agree. Logan is the one that I hate.
See, I like both of them because they're both actually talented. So
they're both talented.
Like them?
Yeah.
I have no problem with them. I don't hate. Like I just said, like, I can't bring myself to hate anything. I can't bring myself to like
Paul,
anything either.
Jake was always the underdog because he's the younger brother, and he was like bullied by Logan, but he came out on top. And Logan just seems like a dick, and like that whole thing with Nina Agdal was telling of his character, and also he was like mean to his podcast co-host because he's a Christian and he was like crapping on his religion. So I didn't like that either. But Jake, I have no issue with him. All of the Kardashians and Jenners are on this list.
Yes.
That is not a surprise, and there's not even an argument to be had. But which Kardashian or Jenner is the most hateable in your opinion?
I don't know it. The only one I really know well is Kim. The rest of them, I wouldn't be able to pick out a lineup.
They're all tied, for me.
I think Kris Jenner might be the worst one because she's really the evil mastermind behind the whole ploy that made the Kardashian family famous.
Yeah. She's their Meghan Markle.
Planning out Kim's sex tape, watching her sex tape, and like choosing the best one with the best angles, and then framing it like Kim was so hurt and traumatized over it. Like, she is definitely the most sociopathic.
Dr. Oz is on this list at number 28. When was the last time anybody thought about Dr. Oz? I guess if they had this list before he ran for office, they would have known that he wouldn't have been able to defeat Fetterman.
I don't know why he's on this list. I don't hear anything
about him. And why
about
did they use his real name?
Yeah.
Like, he's Dr. Oz.
Yes.
Yeah. Chrissy Teigen is on here for obvious reasons. She told teenagers to kill themselves and then never answered for it.
Zuckerberg is on this list. I feel I have no emotions about Zuckerberg at all.
He's just not likable, though.
He's a bore.
I think he's less.
He's just an alien.
He's
not
less.
even...
I don't know. He's less hateable than the rest of the big tech CEOs, I guess. Besides
really?
Elon.
Really? Like, I mean,
because he just seems like more of a family man, and like he tries to be hip with the memes. Like, he's just a dork. He's not like an evil cyborg.
He probably got into mixed martial arts to like win cred from people.
Whatever happened with that fight that was supposed to happen between him and Elon?
Somebody should have brought that up on the space that he was on. They're like, hey,
call him out.
Wuss. I thought you were gonna go fight.
Was it Elon that backed out?
I think I heard fake news from both sides saying that the other side backed out. They both have a strong media machine behind them, so it didn't matter.
And Kanye's on here. I voted I disagreed with that.
Yeah.
I still think that Kanye's fan base stands by him, like, no matter what he says or does.
Jamila Jamil is on this list. That makes sense.
Amy Schumer. That makes sense.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Megan Fox is further down, but them both are like, they think that they're the ultimate power couple and are just cringe as hell.
It is funny that Donald Trump Jr. is on here, but not Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump Jr. is not a traditional celebrity, so I just don't know why he would be on here. And Tommy Lahren is as well.
That is weird.
Like, political pundits aren't on the same level as the Kardashians.
I mean, in today's day and age, they're kind of one and the same. Like, who even has strong feelings about Justin Bieber anymore?
That's what I was about to say.
I think he's likable.
Yeah. Trevor Noah. Did you? Okay, I just saw Trevor Noah. Did you see the thing? There was like this clickbait headline the other day. It says Don Lemon says he's cut the cord since getting fired from CNN. Now watches Ben Shapiro and I don't remember, and Tucker Carlson or something.
No,
maybe it wasn't Tucker Carlson, but he definitely mentioned Ben Shapiro. And I was just trying to picture a video of Don Lemon watching a Ben Shapiro
video. Why is Ben
Shapiro
the entry point for so many people?
He is for a
when
lot
he
of
has
people.
Such an abrasive way of speaking, like that it turns a lot of people off, but somehow he's the entry point.
I guess for a lot of people.
Or he's just like, he's kind of the most relevant. Like, he's been around for so long.
Armie Hammer is number 45 on this list. You know, the cannibal. Armie the cannibal, number 45.
It has nothing to do with his Me Too accusations. I just think he's cringy.
Elton John is 46, and I just thought that was because he went to dinner with Kevin Spacey recently.
Most people don't know about that, though.
Yeah.
Cardi B is on here because she's loud and obnoxious and ghetto.
Demi Lovato, did you see that there's a... So, Mary, you'll have to correct me. Wasn't there a song that Demi Lovato released recently that was like that we covered that was about being...
Yeah, well, the cover of her single was her on a mattress that was like shaped like a crucifix, where she's on it like it's a crucifix, and it was like, what was it? It was called Holy F. That's what it was.
Okay, so she has a special called A Very Demi Christmas, like a Demi Lovato Christmas special.
Make it make sense.
Yeah,
I saw that. She has like her long hair again.
Yeah.
Oh, she's trying to rebrand.
She's not ugly in the picture. But I was just looking at it, and I'm just like, did they just find the person the most against a Christian holiday to have them do?
She also made that horrible like pro-abortion anthem.
Yeah.
also the same year. Gwyneth Paltrow is on this list.
Christmas, my true love gave to me.
I think that we're all Gwyneth Paltrow defenders.
Yes, we are.
So I voted no on that one.
Yep.
She's delightfully out of touch.
Elon Musk is all the way down at 54. I imagined him to be higher.
Well, most of the votes were in his favor, actually. Yep. So that's just the power of the internet, I guess. Or he's the Antichrist.
If this was an article written by a site, he would be much higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's on here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
James Franco?
What did
James Franco faced a crap ton of Me Too allegations.
He started an all-women acting school where they practiced intimacy scenes, and supposedly, according to one of the women, the cover that was supposed to be in between their genitals slipped. Thank you, guys. Sounds a little dubious to me.
He's so like, dubious. Oh, it slipped.
Let's go.
Oh no.
Oh no, it slipped. Why does this sheet keep falling? Yeah.
Madonna is on here as well.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's just more so that I feel bad for her. I don't know if I even hate her.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, Madonna? No. I dislike Madonna. She's annoying because she still thinks she's edgy. If she was Britney Spears and she was just kind of clueless as to how weird her behavior was.
She's like a grandma that needs to be put in a home.
Yeah, if she would stop.
It's that meme. It says like, when I was, it's like the grandma with the wheelchair, and it says like, yes, grandma, let's get you back to bed.
She still thinks that like tweeting at Pope Francis is the edgiest thing that's ever happened in the world.
Soulja Boy is number 70. That makes perfect sense. You know, you don't want to get your fake video game system from Soulja Boy.
Adam Levine totally deserves to be on here. But also, that girl that he had that affair with should be on the list because she was equally annoying.
Brie Larson is all the way down to 78, probably because she has, for the most part, not been super vocal the last couple of years.
Well, she didn't have to do press for the Marvels extensively because of the strike, so that was kind of just a fluke.
How can you hate Lil Wayne? He's number 82. How can you hate Lil Wayne?
I don't feel any type of way about him. So.
I was pointing out to somebody recently, so the song Down with him and Jay Sean, which is possibly, in my opinion, one of the last great pop rap songs that ever got made. In the video, Lil Wayne wears a shirt that says communist on it, and it's hidden by like a vest that he's wearing.
Down like the economy.
Yeah, and then he shows you and it says communist. And it's just laugh because he's the guy who went and met with Trump and was willing to talk to both parties. But I just imagine he's like, someday he's like, I was in my edgy era. Like pretending to be a communist, even though you're literally part of Cash Money Records, which is all about capitalism.
Right. It's ironic.
It is ironic.
He's an ironic tanky. Ariana Grande is on here because she is a homewrecker and will be remembered as such for the rest of her career. And she's dating a guy from SpongeBob on Broadway, which is a cell phone. It's so crazy that she used to be considered on par with Taylor Swift. Like Taylor Swift dating an NFL player. Ariana Grande dating SpongeBob from Broadway.
Yep. Maybe it's true love.
She's been dating down. Taylor Swift has dated up, if not at least
as across. Up as Taylor Swift can date. She is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why Beyonce is on here. I guess the public sentiment on her is shifting.
I mean, maybe they're just like we gotta get every celebrity has to be on here at some point. And Joe Rogan is 89. I don't know how you can hate Joe Rogan. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I know how people.
You
hate
know what's weird?
I just don't agree.
Will Smith is on here, but Jada isn't.
Interesting.
This is fake.
It's rigged.
Who the hell has a hot take on Sia? Other than that song that has absolutely ruined women for.
Didn't she come out with like a movie about like?
Yeah, she came out with a movie about autism.
Yeah.
But she cast Maddie Ziegler from Dance Moms, who doesn't have autism. Mm-hmm. And then she also like directed all of these choreography scenes between Maddie Ziegler and Shia LaBeouf that were considered weird, and I don't know, it just like made people feel like it was creepy. Mm-hmm. So she did that.
And then down here at the bottom of the list, you've got it's Chris Pratt is 96, Gal Gadot is 97, Gina Carano is 98, Vin Diesel is 99, Jamie Foxx with one X, maybe it's a different Fox, is 100, Eminem is 101, and the fact that Post Malone is on this list should disqualify the whole list entirely.
No one hates
No
Post
one
Malone.
hates. There is not a person alive that, and if they are, they're doing it to be edgy. They're faking it. They're like,
does anyone hate Usher?
It's like Mary hating Keanu Reeves because somebody has to, right?
She'll fill that space.
Whoever hates Post Malone is just doing it because it's edgy to say that you hate Post Malone.
If Keanu Reeves has one hater, it's me. If he has 0 haters, it's because I died.
J.K. Rowling is 108. You'd think she'd be way higher given...
No, but look at the votes. Like, on all of these people like Elon Musk or J.K. Rowling or Joe Rogan or any of these, dissident thought leaders, they have votes that are mostly in their favor. People don't think that they're most hated.
Derpwing Duck says, sure, I hate Usher.
Like, why?
You don't have to have a reason.
Why is David Duchovny on here?
I don't know. I still love David Duchovny. I still love the X-Files.
Ed Sheeran? No one dislikes Ed Sheeran. Eminem, I voted in favor. I hate him.
But
he's cringe.
As far as I'm concerned, number 1 and 2 make perfect sense.
Gina Carano got 65% of people saying she's not hated. So, like, all of these people that the media has united against are actually the well-liked celebrities.
Yeah. I just say Meghan and Amber are like, eventually Meghan will just have this list erased somehow. She will pay the media
put a hit out on whoever
to make it to make it go away, right?
But she's a narcissist. She likes getting negative attention because, like, narcissists get this euphoric feeling out of being attacked. So it's like a good thing for her when she feels like people hate her.
She's like going to go on a press tour about how much she was hurt by this list that no one had ever heard of till she went on this press tour.
Then she'll say that she had a miscarriage because of it.
That'll
dark, right? Well, she blamed her first miscarriage on the Daily Mail.
Yes.
So she started that conversation.
That is dark.
She's like, and then it was rancor. She's like, I'd have a whole family lineage of royals by now if you guys weren't writing such mean stuff.
You said
about me.
it's so insane that Meghan Markle gets to play the race card.
Yeah.
She admits that growing up in California, literally nobody assumed that she was anything but a white girl.
Yeah.
So, and then she uses that to say, when I moved to the UK, everyone was racist towards me. How is she allowed to play the race card?
Andrew Tate is the only one who seems to have brought this up, where he brought it up in a video. It's like, how is this a thing?
Right.
How is this
He's the only person that's called it out. He's like, I'm blacker than Meghan Markle.
I do have to give my mandatory requirement to say she gets a pass from me because she wears a pencil skirt in Suits. That's why.
I also wanted to just float my theory that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were attracted to each other because they look alike.
I don't think they look alike.
But if you really, beyond the hair color and the skin color, look at their noses. They have these downturned button noses, and they have these beady eyes that are a little bit too close together, but are still conventionally attractive. I think that they got mixed up in the same petri dish when the CIA was
possible, very possible,
grading their embryos.
It would, royals like to marry in the family.
It's incestuous. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. They've just found a more sophisticated way to do it now. That makes perfect sense.
Let's finish up.
All right.
These
Let's go to super chats, guys.
Derpwing Duck said, betcha $5 that some priest was warning about demons and witches when The Wizard of Oz was released in theaters in 1939. Don't let the BS spook ya.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if they did, but if you find proof, I would be interested to see it. Eric Blackwood said the devil has been used to control the masses throughout history. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift, but this is clearly two forms of order in conflict. I'm not quite sure what that last part
I think
means.
it's a bunch of art nerds with a huge budget.
DCNC said, relax, pals. Too many sevenths for legit Gregorian chant.
It's like, why Gregorian chants when I listen to it? Did she just listen to a crap ton of Enya before the concert and decided to just go off?
Derpwing Duck said, Taylor Swift dressed as a witch, so Satanism, so I guess Victoria's Secret angels are promoting Kabbalah, give it up?
Probably.
Let's go! Look, fine. Look, if you're going to be demonic, you should at least be hot while being demonic, right? I will take Victoria's Secret demons over Taylor Swift demons every day of the week.
Yeah.
Every day.
Gordon Shumway said these perma-shifting people used to be called the village idiot. Why hasn't a 5150 been called on these people? I don't
Where
know.
are
We
their
don't have the
parents?
police resources for that.
Well, plus they would just be dumped.
We'd run out of room in the asylums.
Well, no, and then they would just be out of the system in 72 hours after their psych hold and
Get dumped on the streets of San Francisco.
Concert. Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said shifting shrooms are a hell of a drug. Well, that's the weird
It
part
would
is
have
they're
made
not
more
using
sense-
drugs.
It would have made more sense if they were using mushrooms.
But they say you don't need drugs and you don't even need to
What
be
a bunch of
asleep.
wusses. Wusses, okay? Back in my day, you had to do a bunch of dangerous drugs to get from one dimension to another. Now, they're just posers. That's what they are.
Just close their eyes and don't move
Ooh,
on their bed.
I get it.
Bucky Ducky said, "Yeah, Mary, I stole it from my father. What was that? Stop crime with us or something.
Yeah. I stopped him as crime.
Stop. Oh yeah, stopped him as crime. Okay, yeah. Dubby Nanners said, "Click the like button."
Yes, guys, please go click the like button. Would you please?
Or dislike the video if that's how you feel.
Nope. No, I'm not a narcissist. I don't get a rush from people hating on me. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to lie. Even if you don't like it, I think you should lie and hit the like button anyways.
Never said you gotta push the clutch of life into shift your reality.
Huh.
What?
I get it.
Kobe McGuire said the podcast's name depends on who sucks that day. Well,
That is
today
true.
it's the Meghan Markle sucks podcast.
There should be a podcast called the Blank Sucks podcast, and every day it changes, and every day it's a different celebrity.
Gordon Shumway said, after hearing these statements from shifters and Hogwarts, I'm suddenly changing my opinion of the parents that burned Harry Potter books. Maybe they were onto something. I agree.
I'm just saying that I keep hearing about how religion is bad, and as somebody who doesn't have a skin in that game because I'm not religious, I see way more insanity from stuff like this than somebody telling you that, hey, you know, maybe go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Shane H. Wilder said perma-shifting, so they're going to take a coma. Yeah, instead of taking a nap, they're taking a coma. Well, I assume that they, from what I saw, they believe that their avatar, like who they are in the current reality, will continue living life as normal, but their actual self is going to be perma-shifting. So no one will suspect a thing. Yeah.
Wait, so it's unfalsifiable. This is annoying. That's why it's really annoying. Is because there's no put up or shut up. You don't get to prove to me that it's happening. So you're really just bragging. You're bragging about something that you can't prove, which is stolen valor. It's stupid. There's probably somebody who can actually do this who doesn't post on these platforms. He gets none of the attention because he's not asking for it, and you're sitting over here making it up. That's why it's annoying.
Well, because if you realized you could do it, you would have already been in your new reality.
Exactly.
Tacty Platty said, Mary, please explain your Star Trek reference. Well, wasn't there that episode of Star Trek where he lives a different life on another planet from a civilization that's already died out, and then they use this to carry on their memories?
Yeah. And there's also, I believe it was a Black Mirror episode where people live inside of this like computer game simulation where it's like their consciousness in the computer game. I don't know if that's kind of maybe what
even
you're
worse.
thinking
It's
of
even worse.
too.
They're not even creative. At least the television shows that cover this stuff are creative. You just get to say a bunch of stupidness and then and then use a filter that changes the color like you're at some lame rave. This is bullshit.
Shane H. Wilder said, okay, after this shifting nonsense, I stand by what I said about demons. I'm going to go pray St. Michael's prayer now. Yeah, I think that this could definitely open the door to demonic oppression at the very least, if you're like opening yourself up to like speaking to fictional characters.
Put these people in sports for the love of not.
But then they're gonna try to be in the other gender's sport, and it gets awkward.
So
like
messy.
Get a hobby of some sort. I
Touch
know I'm sounding extremely like bigoted and a tad Neanderthalish right now, but seriously, there has to be a better way.
No, put them in mixed gender, mixed martial arts.
There you go.
Because then they learn discipline, they learn self-defense, and they also learn that, for the most part at least, boys are stronger or can beat up girls.
I think these people are just thinking a lot, like too much about themselves. They need to do things for other people.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. So I grew up playing team sports, and then I went in and I picked up skating, which is inherently a more it's a solo activity, right? And one of the things I liked about that is that you didn't rely on other people. Like you either won or lost, or in this, I guess there wasn't really winning or losing because it's not really the same thing as a team sport, but you progressed and you grew on your own and you were responsible for your own growth in the sport. Whereas in team sports, you can excel beyond all the other players, but in a lot of ways. But the things that you learned in team sports were important, right? The ability to work together, communicating with other people under high stress environments. Those are all things that are actually, bonding with other people and having a shared passion for something. Those are all really, really good things that I had a lot of love for, but I am more of an introverted person. So skating spoke to me more. So eventually I grew away from team sports as I got into my later teen years and got back to and stuck with skating alone. But it's not like I didn't go back. I would still go out and play outdoor hockey every winter with, people are in the area. And I think that getting kids out of their rooms and getting them into team sports where you can learn to communicate with other people, you can't just send them to piano lessons. You can't just send them or whatever they send to kids to do these days that's lame. You got to actually go and have them learn how to communicate with other people. Right? And every once in a while, and I think a lot of kids, they end up finding a sport that they end up liking really, really well. And if they don't, then maybe you put them into mixed martial arts where even if it's not about a team mentality, there's still a certain amount of work because you have to interact with another person in a very, very specific manner.
Right. Yeah.
So
What do you do when your daughter is going crazy because she's looking at too many TikToks, so you decide to put her into team sports, and then she ends up having to play against the equivalent of lady ballers? The world is just too insane
you know what the answer is, man? It's a character building. It's a character building moment.
exercise.
You know what? It's what she has to do to get into adulthood. And maybe you end up raising the next Riley Gaines, who ends up being a rock star and somebody who has something that she stands for other than shifting realities.
I know one thing for sure. Riley Gaines never did that. DC&C said an anonymous troublemaker in the chat demands a grilling apron from the merch store featuring a certain Dutch recluse. What?
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know either.
Is that a Hitler reference?
Elaborate if you would like to. Hiroshima Otaru said Amber Heard will always be number 2. Sarenko Productions said Meghan is more insufferable because she's a D-list celebrity who tried to become famous by marrying into it. Amber is just crazy.
I'm telling you, 5 years from now, after all of the Amber Heard mishgas passes, people will just remember her as the hot, crazy lady who would have been great to let you ruin her life for a little bit.
But didn't Amber Heard marry Johnny Depp to marry up in fame?
I guess, yeah, but
she wasn't really an A-lister.
No, she wasn't.
She was a C.
She could have been on the track for it, right?
C or B?
Before DC failed as badly as they did with the Justice League movie and stuff like that, she could have ended up higher on that list if those movies had been more successful. But
DC&C said Jada's production company made the list.
Will?
It was all people. Do you mean Will? I don't know. Derpwing Duck said, speaking of Logan, snicked. Brett might get it.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Bucky Ducky said the Inner Light, best Star Trek episode. Yeah, I think I watched that in high school. They made us watch that in high school for some reason.
They were priming you.
Yeah, Derpwing Duck said Anne's Franks as an apron for grilling. Oh, that was their idea.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. There was one more from
Shane H. Wilder. Brett catching himself before taking the Lord's name in vain. We're getting to him, Mary. LOL.
I do my best here at work to be, and a lot of times I don't do well. I still say it and then I apologize to Mary and she politely says, hey, look, it's not my fault. It's not going to be me. What do you say?
What did I say?
I was like,
hey,
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to be the one sending you to hell.
Yeah. So, it's, that's the...
You're a wicked witch who belongs in hell.
And that's the truth.
I'm kidding. I don't say things like that to Brett.
There's hold on. I need to see if I can figure out how to...
What's wrong?
We took the crisis meter in a new direction today, And I just want to make... Oh, no, okay, there. It caught up. And then there's one more here from DCNC. Says, Anne Frank house is in Amsterdam, yo. Yeah, but where's Anne's Frank's hot dogs?
Yeah, that's the real question.
That's the real question. That's what I want to know. All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, and would you please subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? The channel is still growing. We're on our way to 85,000, and we want to get to 100,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So please, if you aren't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that now and hit the like button on this video. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. Be sure to go to castbrew.com. We now have gift cards available. They're like e-gift cards, so as soon as you buy them, they're available. So if you forgot to buy a gift for someone, you have that option now. And follow us on X at castbrewcoffee. Follow us on Instagram at castbrew_coffee.
Perfect. Mary.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
All right. All right, one more here from DCNC says, very sus Jada not on the hated celeb list.
It is, yeah.
Yes, it is. It is a little bit sus if you ask me.
Or Jamie Lynn Spears. Like, you would have thought she would be on there, too.
I wouldn't have thought that.
She's very hated right now.
Because of, you know, the Free Britney movement. Like, everyone hates her sister.
Britney was on that list, so if Britney's on that list...
She was?
Yeah, she was on that list. I think she was on the... somebody fact check me. I could have swore
She'll
I saw
be on
her.
the most pitiful celebrities
Now
list.
I'm looking here just to double check.
No, she wasn't on it.
I'm double checking here. I could have swore her.
No, she's not. I went through the whole thing.
You can search the names. Let's see.
Could have swore I saw her name on this list here somewhere. No,
nope, she wasn't on it.
We don't hate Britney. We just feel bad for her.
Mask off moment for Brett right there. Maybe
yeah, you
Brett
hate Britney.
It's exactly right. All right, one more here.
Leave her alone.
Yeah. It's the sound effect of Wolverine's claws. That's kind of what I figured. But yeah, it's Derpwing Duck for $2. Derp, are you excited for the Wolverine video game that's coming out? I ask you. All right, guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you'd like to listen rather than watch. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. Later.
Bye.